gamers, welcome back to part 2 of this insanely long video. It's gonna be fun. There's more fun to be had, obviously. So let's get into it. Will there be a part 3? Maybe, maybe not, who knows. But let's get going. Let's get going with this nonsense. Alright, here we go. Let's go, guys.
Really hadn't told him anything that was anything secret whatsoever. None of it was real. You know, it was all bullshit. That's what I mean. Like all this week,
All bullshit.
every time that they're doing Kino Casino, they're like, here's something, a big revelation. Phil has a rabbit that died. Phil's wife was sick and she found religion. I'm like, it's every lie I've told him. Every time that they're him when I really, okay. And quite frankly, that was one of the most embarrassing moments because he actually thought that like I was like, you know, a close personal confidant of him when I really hadn't told him anything that was anything secret whatsoever. None of it was real. You know, it was all bullshit. That's what I mean. Like all this week.
Man, it's so nasty. Like, you know, we all know that PvP was just bullshitting in these DMs just as much as DSP claims he bullshitted too, right? Like, it's kind of funny to me that DSP wants to go down the angle of that he was also bullshitting, which kind of makes it seem way worse. As I said, like he did this, then he said he felt bad that PvP like was taking him seriously and was like falling in love with DSP and shit, and he continued, which is not good behavior, you know, like that's not really moral. Like, at all. So he continued it, and again, like, you know, he could say all he wants how evil PPP was for orchestrating this whole thing, which, you know, you gotta say, it is wild that how much DSP, like, played into his hands to the point where DSP ran to leak the DMs, and thinks this was a massive W, which, like, It kind of wasn't on many levels, because on one hand it's like the stuff that DSP's portraying these DMs as if like PPP was being serious and genuine, but we all know he wasn't. We all know that PPP was bullshitting in these DMs. Then he's saying what he said was also bullshit. So there really is nothing, like, he defanged these DMs to the point where the attention went from the DMs to just really listening to what DSP is saying and comparing to what we know about these DMs, and it kind of paints him in a worse light than ever before. Because the worst thing that came from these DMs in the past was that he was just gaslit and tricked. But now, not only was he tricked into leaking the DMs before Kino Casino, not only was that a thing, but it showed how much, like, he is desperately trying to make himself look like the mastermind. In a very clear damage control way.
Every time that they're doing Kino Casino, they're like, here's something, a big revelation. Phil has a rabbit that died. Phil's wife was sick and she found religion. I'm like, it's every lie I've told him.
But he also said that there was a nugget of truth, though. So she was... It's like this is what flies in the face of all of this. It just comes off purely that these lies had nothing to do with his master plan, and just that he made up these lies to just not do what they want him to do. That has nothing to do with being a master plan. That's just you having an out. That's all this is.
To get his confidence over the last 8 months, and he's spewing them out to the internet like there's some big deal. The truth is,
but
even if
this is like also bullshit. This is like what, into January when this was going down about this little trip to Las Vegas or wherever the fuck that, or no, it was Florida, right? Whatever. This trip was pitched in January. It's safe to say at this point, like, there's enough trust between the two. Presumably. So why would he keep trying to foster that at this point? I don't know. But there's really nothing, like, he gained nothing from this. As I said, just look at the gains that both people got from this relationship. and tell me who got the most out of it. PPP or DSP? Let's see. Like, I talked about this in the last video. It's very clear PPP got more out of this relationship than DSP ever did. And DSP's like aha moment were these DMs, which are a nothing burger because PPP was lying just as much as DSP was. So all we got from this is PPP really like had DSP running on a puppet string. Like he was really his puppet the whole time. Like it got to the point where PPP even said the whole point was to get DSP to show these DMs. That's how much DSP was running on running on his script. And look how little effort it took PPP. Like the whole, even I would even wager the whole like forcing DSP to do this. I mean, I'm sure he's being honest. To a point to generally get content from him and to do this, but at the same time, it's just like, you know, whatever, right? I don't know. Whatever. You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm cooking.
Even if they were true, that's still fucked up. Like, that's supposed to be private, personal shit.
Yeah, I
he
said
never
this
would have to tell anyone.
As I said, he can't say it's bullshit when he literally was lying. Like, he lied about this. He roped in his fucking wife into this. Like, yeah, you lied, and yeah, it'd be fucked up if PvP leaked it, right? But you lied in the first place. And you roped her into it. He didn't need to do that either.
But yet you're doing it anyway. Even if it were true. Now, it's not, but even if it were, man, that's fucked up. But the thing is, his audience is so dumb and stunted.
He won...
That they think that...
They're dumb and stunted. By the way, some of these people, like, actually, like, gave DSP money, but whatever, cool.
That's like, oh, he's saying he's spilling the tea? This is exciting. It's not. It's fucked. If you had said something to someone in confidence like that, would you think that they would go out and publicly say something about it later just because they broke off a business relationship with you? And by the way...
But, like... It was very obvious. Like, again... I don't understand, right? DSP's told us he knew that these people were into drama. And all this other stuff. He watched their show, supposedly. He sat there and was like, yeah, I'm sure these guys are gonna keep stuff under wraps. I'm sure these people are upstanding people or whatever. Like, they're obviously gonna do something to snake him because they openly said that. Like, if he knew that these people were questionable, right? Why did he get in bed with them? It doesn't add up.
We're definitely gonna look at that, all right? Because I absolutely know that you guys want to see how it broke off and how it ended and how unhinged PPP became at the end, okay?
Why is he mad about this when he was snaking them in the first place? Like, of course, like, I guess you could say that, like, he wanted to prove a point that they would show stuff in the DMs. But, I mean, come on. They openly said they were trying to snake you, man.
Okay.
And this is also bullshit when DSP is every time stuff gets leaked. There's really nothing to show. Like, people think they have such, like, massive things to show, but there's really nothing, man. Every time. Every time. To the point where I just sat there, it's like, I said when PB announced, like, oh, DSP should apologize over the weekend or I'm gonna leak or whatever. I'm like, just leak him. DSP has said that he never shares anything personal with anyone. And all this stuff, like, like, the stuff that gets leaked is nothing. And I knew that that's what DSP would have said. Like, oh yeah, I told you guys that she was like again, notice what was said in these DMs. She was sick, guys. Yeah, he told us she had health issues. The only stuff that he threw in was like the ovarian shit. But it's like, why would you share that with strangers? Right? Like, it doesn't really make him look good.
Let's continue because we got more. All right. You know what? We really haven't done anything with Andy. We
All right,
haven't.
let's talk
So
to
I
Andy.
feel like we should do a little bit. To be honest, you know, I know Andy apparently doesn't like me, but I've barely talked with the guy, so I just don't know him that well. And I don't know if everything he's
But
ever
you're
said is
getting
a sham or a
soulmates.
ruse. I don't know if he just goes with everything that PPP tells him.
Wait,
All
what?
right, like me, but I've barely talked with the guy, so I just don't know him that well. And I don't know if everything he's ever said is a sham or a ruse. I don't know if he just goes with
Okay.
everything that PPP tells him. All right, very well, it could be that he just goes with every single thing that PPP tells him. He's a pushover. All right, I don't
He's
know.
a pushover.
But
he's really shitting on Andy for like,
you know,
no
we're in a
reason.
situation here where I barely ever spoke with the man. And so it's very odd to me that we had people saying stuff like he's your gaming soulmate and shit like that. But I mean, if anything, when I talk to him, so it's very odd to me.
Listen to this.
We had people saying stuff like he's your gaming soulmate and shit.
Nobody said, he said that. DSP was the one that said he's his gaming soulmate. Dude, you said that. Nobody said that. You did. I love that he's trying to put it on everyone else. It's weird that people said that we're gaming so. No, you said that, bitch. Oh, man.
And shit like that. But I mean, if anything, when I talk to him, he would be afraid of stuff. Like, for example, in this case, right after we had done like the first appearance, all of a sudden their clips channel put up a clip of me on the channel, and Andy was legit terrified that I was gonna see that and think that they were snaking me already. And he didn't want this initial relationship to end, and he kind of reached out to me apologizing profusely for that. Oh, sorry, that was a mistake.
But you know damn well DSP would have demanded an apology. And he's like, yeah, it's so. But like, oh man, why did he leave that? Let's see what he said. Yo, brother, I sent you this over Discord, but I'll send it here also. Yo, Phil, so sorry. Want to let you know our editor released an old clip of us talking about your emergency story from months ago, before we even had spoken to you. Obviously, the video was in jest even before we met you or whatever, but I don't want you to think we were being rude or sneaking you or whatever. I almost said loved. I have logged myself. I have logged in myself and unlisted the video, even though it isn't that bad. Lol. Just to let you know, hope everything's well with you, brother. But dude, like, there's a clip of DSP somewhere saying, "Oh yeah, I saw PPP make fun of my wife in the past, so I asked him about it. He apologized, man. Pretty cool, huh?" And like here, Andy's just apologizing, like, like at some point DSP would have said, "So you notice that they have a clip of them shitting on me and they didn't apologize?"
That was a mistake.
But okay.
Right? And then we were talking about gaming collabs. This is another thing. We keep talking about every once in a while games and gaming collabs and things like that, but they never happen. And again, I don't know if.
But he did that he did do gaming collabs. But why did he skip that? What did Andy say? Oh my god. Sometimes the frame by frame is bad.
And he kind of reached out to me apologizing profusely for that. Oh, sorry, that was a mistake. Right? And then we were talking about gaming collabs.
Not going to be a part of the detractor communities. Oh my god, this dude. I'm not going to be part of the detractor communities. I'm gone through. But I'm gone though. Best of luck, Phil. Don't really see how you spin your way out of this. Yo, dude, yeah, I agree. I'm down for more Black Ops 6. My friends and I have been unlocking stuff, and I've been so good, man. Oh, no, wait, it's been so good. that sounds awesome. The Liars Bars thing, yes? What? Liars Bars? There is also a Death Note style game like that coming out soon. I am totally down for that. Sweet Andy, I'm down for collabs. I know my schedule. So this is okay, you know what? This is bullshit. He's like, so you're gonna give me because it never went through? Dude. Andy said he was down. His first thing it says, I can't read the rest because it's fucking dumb. Tevin brought this up. It is so sus how this dude doesn't want to use the green screen for this. He just wants to black out everything. You have to read everything after because he doesn't want anyone to know what he said. This is so stupid. But anyways, he mentions his schedule. DSP was the one that didn't do the gaming collabs. And even back then, you go back during this time, I'm sure he said, oh, it's so crazy, guys. My schedule is so packed, man. I can't, I don't have time for any gaming clubs with Andy, man. It doesn't work out. So it has nothing to do with Andy. It's him. And he's like, it's so weird, man. This didn't work out. Yeah, you didn't do anything.
Another thing. We keep talking about every once in a while games and gaming collabs and things like that, but they never happen. And again, I don't know if that was just a case where they thought that gaming collabs would not work on their channel. I think the Chain Together collab worked well. I think the only reason that the Black Ops Zombies collab that we did on Halloween didn't work so well is because that game doesn't really allow you to interact that well because you got to kill zillions of zombies. Okay. And also, I was drinking and we were all tired I was doing a marathon, so it's not going to work as well. If you did a different kind of game, there's tons of games out there that we could have done.
I'm watching two of the archives, between, I'm watching, kind of Sav reacting to it. I'm watching That Being Said reacting to it. And Meerkat brought this up. I didn't think I brought this up. But, I mean, everyone has pretty much said this. But DSP has not workshopped anything in these DMs, which is obvious, right? But I just remembered. DSP said last week or so, it's a shame, man. We had ideas. We had projects that were going to work out, man. And PvP said that there was something going on. Well, what's he talking about? And I'm sitting there thinking, wait a second. He's doing these DM debunk or whatever the fuck this is, right? So, are we gonna see the ideas DSP had or the projects he was working out? Because everything that was, pitched, he has shut down or just, I don't know, man. The gaming collab he was doing with Andy, that he wanted to do with Andy, just didn't go anywhere because DSP was like, I'm busy, man. Schedules, dude.
But it was never. It was always, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. We never did it. Instead, it was, can we do this drama, this piece of shit drama? And none of them ever worked. So that's why stuff fell apart. So when Andy's coke allegations resurfaced.
Oh, shit.
100%, I reached out to him to be nice to him again. Just pushing forward the ruse that I'm their friend and I've got their back. As Review Tech said, simping for them. Saying, don't worry, I've got your...
Dude. I had their back, I'm simping for them? Yes. Hey man, hope all is well. Your trolls are now coming on my stream saying nasty shit about you, and I shut it all down. Honestly, don't believe them. Why would I? I honestly don't believe them. Why would I? But I just wanted to let you know, I hope you're good. If anything bad or crazy actually is going on, dude, this is kind of nasty if you think about it, right? Because he's reaching out to a coke addict who supposedly relapsed or whatever, right? And it was, you can kind of see this as a way that he's trying to get more information out of this dude, which could cause him to relapse even harder, right? Whatever, okay.
Got your back, I got my own detractors, stuff like that. Okay. Then there was the pedo arc where
he then made it about himself. That's cool. That's a cool thing to do. You go to an addict and make it about yourself. That's the coolest thing to do.
Apparently, it was leaked that these guys had gone on a vacation to Vegas, and in that vacation to Vegas, the person who had financed the entire vacation was one of their followers, and he was a pedophile, and he had been outed. So now it's like, dude, you just took $100,000 from a pedophile to go to Vegas or whatever. And I didn't know anything about it, but all of a sudden,
okay.
Andy starts hurriedly sending me all this stuff about this. See? Your detractors in RTU are trying to say I'm a pedo and snorts new video. Here's the deal. I'm at the end of RTU accusing me he watches the video and exposes it was all bullshit. Everyone's trying to sweep that. Mr. Medicare made an entire video explaining it's all... Like, why would I care about this?
What?
He's really setting me to this.
Why would I care? He, in the same stream, at the very beginning, he made a joke like, oh, you get PDF files because you know they sweep for PDF files? And now he's like, why would I care? What? And this is also the dude that's like, I'm not a bad streamer, guys. I don't like these other people that do fucked up things. But now he's saying, why would I care? This is such a weird angle to go down. Man, this is oh man, this stream is something else.
It's like it's important, and I'm like, I don't care. But he's so terrified. You know what I'm saying? That this is gonna actually like resurface.
You're not DSP. You would not. What? He is confused why Andy is terrified that people may associate him with a pedophile. He's saying like, why? Oh God, this is like DSP. You don't think that's a little alarming that people may associate you with like a pedophile? Huh? Okay, sure, man.
Let's see here. Where's the one? Oh, I forgot about this. All right. Here we go. So after he had brought up the coke allegations, all right, he says, I've been sober since November 10th, 2023. To bring up my past addictions.
Dude, this is a weird thing. He was just on this screen. He leaves it to talk about the pedo shit, and then he went back to the screen. Whatever, okay. You can really tell that he came prepared.
Make you hate me. Said, I believe you. Even if you weren't sober, I'm reading it because I know my camera's blocking it. Even if you weren't sober, it would be none of my
Why doesn't he change it then? Oh my God.
Business, regardless. Why would I care? They're stupid like my own detractors. And he says, yeah, exactly. If I was.
Why would I care? Oh, all right. Then he agrees with him. And it says, I was and I ran a good show. Wouldn't that be impressive if I was doing coke and putting on a good show? Like, oh, no.
I wasn't, and I ran a good show. Wouldn't that be impressive if I was doing coke and putting on a good show? Wait, what? Did you hear what he just said?
It's a hypothetical. And this is what DSP said as well. He said the same shit in the past. So, like, you're saying, you're saying that I'm drunk? I'm able to, like, upload a stream, maintain a stream, upload videos. Oh, well, I'm drunk? Wow, that's impressive I was. He said the same shit in the past. And now he's, like, trying to use the same shit back at Andy? But it's like, this is really dented.
He just said, hey, if I am still doing coke, isn't that fine because I'm still putting on a good show?
That's not what he said. That's not even close to what he said. Again, DSP has a hard time reading. He really needs to go back to school. He said, I wasn't, and and ran a good show. Wouldn't that be impressive if I was doing coke and putting on a good show? Like, that's what he said. He said, wouldn't it be impressive that the show was still good and I'm doing coke? Wouldn't that be impressive? Like, he did, like, that's, how did DSP take that?
Doing coke and putting on a good show? Wait, what? Did you hear what he just said? He just said, hey, if I am still doing coke, isn't that fine because I'm still putting on a good show?
No.
Oops.
He said that would be impressive because, like, he's on coke.
You probably shouldn't have said that.
What?
But, you know, then, of course, he
That's
did
not
say,
even, like...
I will be fair here. But I'm not, so thanks, man. But, I mean, that's pretty crazy that he just said that. Oh, if I'm doing coke and I'm running a good show, it's fine anyway. Oh, but I'm not on coke.
No. Like, he said, wouldn't that be impressive? Like, you're giving him like... It's saying it's impressive because he was able to run a good show while being under the influence. Like that's like someone that says, "Wouldn't it be impressive if I was a good driver and I was drunk?" Like it, because those two things can't possibly be true. And that's what he said there.
Anyway, um,
Oh my
so the last
god!
thing, I mean, there's tons here to go into, but I
Look
know
how
I only
like,
have about
and you know the thing is, this is why I knew that these DMs were going to be a clown show, because I don't think it takes a lot of effort to trick DSP, because he has a hard time reading. Like, he can't read anything in a correct tone. He morphs what he reads because he doesn't understand what he's reading sometimes. Like, this is like the kind of shit that you kind of wonder if this dude is autistic or not, because, or even dyslexic maybe, but I think autistic mostly, because I think autistic makes more sense, because he's reading shit and it's like he doesn't understand sarcasm, and that, I mean, he can't pick up on this. Like, it goes far beyond of just simple misunderstanding. Like, people can misunderstand people's tone in text very easily, but this goes beyond that, to the point where he's morphing what sentences mean.
probably about an hour left that I want to really bother with this shit. So basically,
And now he doesn't want to do a full, like, expose on these DMs. Oh, okay.
one final thing that I'll say about Andy. All right. This I don't understand. I'm completely confused. I have no idea what this is in relation to.
What?
But this one threw me for a loop to the point where I was shaking my head and scratching my head. All right.
All right. What's
It's
confusing?
Valentine's Day.
Oh no.
Okay? It's literally the middle of the afternoon on Valentine's Day. Keep in mind, again, I don't talk to this guy a lot. The logs that I have with him are 100 kilobytes.
This is so funny. This is the same, like, he's really doing to Andy what he did to Howard. I don't talk to you, Howard. We're not friends. I'm friends with Rambo. Why are you mad? And it's like really kind of fucked up, because he's like, why is Andy talking to me? I'm not his friend. I didn't talk to him. But what if he wants to try to get to talk to you though? Like, he acts it's a one way all the time. Like, there's like nobody else can be interested in being his friend. Only he can be interested in being your friend. Only he can. It can never be the other way around. And this is just on Valentine's Day. It's just a happenstance. It just happened to be on Valentine's Day. It could have been on any other day. But this dude is so desperate into being homophobic that he has to bring it up.
The logs I have with PPP are over a megabyte, so it's 10 times more. I talk to PPP than him. Okay? Well, yo, why'd you unfollow me? I hope you're well anyways, dude. Keep well, brother. Huh? And I responded later on in the day when I just happened to open this. What, you mean here on X? I didn't unfollow you, Andy. I don't think I ever followed you here, laughing out loud. I do follow your casino.
I don't think. I don't think. I don't think. So he doesn't even know if he did or didn't at some point. Maybe he did at one point. But the other thing is, maybe Andy thought he followed him and he didn't. You know, sometimes people misremember things all the time. And it's so funny that DSP is like, this is weird. I never followed Andy, man. But how many things did DSP misremember, right?
Casino Clips channel to get caught up from time to time. I've been busy, but I don't watch your show. I've been, haven't watched it in ages. Oh, okay, based. Huh? He had time in the middle of Valentine's Day, out of nowhere in the afternoon, to message me and ask me why I unfollowed him on X when I never.
It's the same nonsense people say about Twitter all the time. It doesn't take that long to make a tweet, open it, do whatever. You could literally be on the toilet and you could send a tweet. Like, it's not some Herculean effort to do anything. You could do whatever. Just ask me why did you unfollow me? It's like a standard thing. This is a weird angle to go on because, you know, sometimes it is like sometimes when people unfollow you, you do sometimes think about it. It's like, why does this person unfollow me? But it could be for many reasons. Sometimes it's like, you know, they just want to clear out their feed. Sometimes it's like nothing personal, whatever. Like that's why sometimes I like sometimes you just have to like move on, right? It's just Twitter, bro.
Ever had followed him on X? Sure, bro. So pretty weird. No, I don't know. We got PPP offering to fly me out to Florida to go to Hogan's bar and have drinks with him. Kind of gay, kind of weird.
Yeah, man. I mean, he should have just said kind of weird. That would make sense. But yes, apparently it's gay if you want to go to a bar with your friends, guys. Hey, man, you're hanging out with your friend? Wow, that's gay. True ally Phil, by the way.
All we have is a business relationship. Why are you bringing this shit up? Why would you? It doesn't make sense. Then he tries to like backtrack and cover it up by saying, "Oh, I'll fly your wife out there too."
No, that's not backtracking. He told PPP that like I want to spend time with my wife. I love my wife. Blah blah blah. He's like, okay, then she can come too. Like, that's all that happened. He was like, oh my god, oh, yeah, bring her wife, man, yeah, man. Like, if he really had those kind of feelings for him, I don't think I think he would have dropped it and moved on, right? Because it would still be awkward, right? Oh man, this guy really cannot interact with anyone.
No, we're not doing that. All right. And we got Worski coming out of here on Valentine's Day asking me why I've unfollowed him on X when I never followed him on X. Why is he checking to see who's following him on X? What prompted him to do this? I have no idea. It's very fucking weird.
Maybe
okay?
he thought you followed him because,
I don't
you
know.
know.
All right. Continuing on.
Whatever, okay.
Because there's still so much more. Just FYI, all right, I just want to bring this up and be very transparent about it.
All right, let's be transparent. Okay? Transparency
The
time.
one thing that kept coming up
this is the Medicare shit.
And over and over was Mr. Medicare. All right? Now, I don't know anything about Mr. Medicare. All right? At all. I don't know anything about Mr. Medicare. I don't know why they wanted me to do content with Mr. Medicare. But it was their...
He doesn't know much about Medicare, but he knew enough that he was, like, making fun of him, though. And then he had the whole thing, I went to his stream and he said the N-word, man. Okay.
Idea from the get-go that I would actually be doing content with Medicare, that I should keep reaching out to Medicare, that he should be on the show, or I should do a show with him. Even if they can't do it, I should just do a show with him individually. And it was like, so the guy's sick, all right? From all reports, the guy's in freaking hospice care.
Life. Oh, man.
All right? Why would he want to do content with me? So I don't know anything about him, right? And they're insisting you should keep trying.
He wants to talk
Don't
to you.
Give up. Wait a few months. Try again.
Like, this is so silly, right? He's like, why would I want to talk to him? Well, he wants to talk to you, though. And he always says, no one wants to talk to me, man. Nobody wants to, like, ask me questions. Okay, hey, this guy wants to talk to you. Why does he want to talk to me? Okay.
This will be the biggest thing ever. And the only thing that I can read out of all of this is that these guys, or at least PPP, all right, idolize Medicare so much. Like he's their daddy. He's their
daddy.
They really wish that they could be Medicare. Like, they really wish they could be Keemstar, but they don't like Keemstar. They don't like the way he operates. They don't like
want to be Keem, but they also want to be Medicare.
Have their own Lolcow universe.
I love that, like, all these other people want to be everybody else, but DSP is the one that's different. Even though everything he does is the most basic shit, and then when he criticizes him, he's like, other people do it. Why can they do it, not me? Why can't they do that? I'm jealous of that, man. Like, DSP has admitted that he's been jealous of other people, like, all the time. He admitted he's jealous of Keem and this and that. But now he's saying, well, no, these other people are jealous. I'm fine being me. Huh?
But when it comes to Medicare, he is their absolute end-all, be-all guy, right?
Right?
100%. They love this fucking guy. They want him
They love him.
to be with them in
Salt,
their
salt, salt, salt,
content.
salt.
They want him to praise them. And it's just absolute craziness the amount of times that they would keep bringing him up. Medicare's back. He's able to do stuff. He's streaming on Halloween. Again, I'm not bringing it up. They are. And I keep seeing they. It's
Yeah, because they're the ones that are in communication with him. You're the one that's busy, correct? So why would you talk to Medicare? I thought you're busy, right? Like, and you know what's funny about this? He has complained how not Medicare, oh my god, Machinima and all these people have not handed him opportunities to do anything. Oh, these people don't offer me opportunities. Kino Casino's offering him opportunities, and he's like, this is weird. They're offering me opportunities. Okay.
actually Ashton, PPP, who keeps bringing up Medicare constantly. All right? Seems he's avoiding engaging in a way. Maybe he's saying this. He did a Halloween show. Maybe it's all
And by the way, DSP has like hyped up PPP as the idea guy. He's the idea guy! And he's like, oh yeah, notice how PPP has all these ideas? Wow. Alright.
involvement that's holding it up. So maybe try to do it directly. Again, you should try to do stuff directly, right? Say he should give a Christmas gift to the internet by coming on the Level 1 podcast next Tuesday. So yeah, no lie. Every single time that I had anything to do with Medicare, I brought him up, I reacted to his documentary, all this shit was because PPP told me to or was egging me on and said, this will become great content, you need to do it. In reality, I don't care about Mr. Medicare at all.
But I don't care about... Oh, man, this is so dumb. If he didn't care, then why did he do this shit then? Why go out of your way to make a fucking React stream? Like, he got into an argument with Iron Cuck Sakai over Medicare. And then he didn't say, I didn't care about him. Then why did he react to the documentary? To learn about him. Then he was like, oh, it had nothing to do with me, man. But it's like, it's a documentary about Medicare. I thought you wanted to learn about him, right? Why does it be, It's so weird. He watches all these other documentaries that are about all these other people. Like, I want to learn about this guy. I want to learn about that guy. But then when it came time to Medicare, what does it do with me, man? Where's me? Weird time to bring that up. And then he sat there and it's like, I never cared about Medicare. But he was like, going along with PvP tweeting about Medicare, trying to get him on, and this and that. Like, he made himself look like an asshole about a guy he's saying he doesn't care about. What?
I have no ill will towards him, but I also don't like him. I just kind of neutral, don't give a shit. All right? So, whatever. Let him be. Right? Let him be. But they kept bringing him, I say they, PPP kept bringing him up constantly. The only way to get to talk to Medicare is public appeals. His DMs are closed. If you offer a specific date, week or two from now, it might put on enough public pressure. I think he wants control over the situation.
Okay, what did Nisby say to that? I just want to talk to the guy. I don't care about him. I just want to talk to him. I actually know zero of him, and that's why reacting to his doc will be fascinating. Other YouTubers seem to want it. Justin Wang liked my tweet about the doc. Oh man, Justin Wang, man, he was looking at me, guys. But this dude sat there and said that he wanted to learn about him, and then says, I didn't care. This dude is, to no one's surprise, is so fake. He will sell his own fucking stance out if it makes him look good. It's garbage. It's garbage. Even if PvP, even if you want to argue that PvP was the one that engaged in the staking first, because he did start it off by announcing his intent way before DSP even talked to the guy. Sure, But DSP went along, and even if this was, let's say that this is all him being genuine, right? Let's say that DSP was not doing this master plan, he would still say the same shit. So this dude is so fucking fake. Regardless, this master plan thing is complete nonsense. Like, nobody's buying this. Because this is stuff that DSP would do anyway. Anyway. Like, it's so embarrassing that he wants to pretend this is some 4D chess thing when it's like, this is stuff he would do anyway. You read these textbooks, like, read this. This is the same shit he'd say regardless. The only time that sounded a little bit cartoonish was like, guys, get a lot. I'm working Keem live. I'm working him, guys. Look at me. That's the only time that I guess you could argue DSP is like lying to PPP. But even then, I don't know, right? Because they could have the same impression as this being a master plan where it's just like he's just saying shit. But how is he working him when he genuinely loves Keem now? What did he get out of Keem? Nothing. Okay.
This is a big dream crossover. I would like it to happen.
Because
so again,
I guess you could argue, well, he's working Keem by getting Keem to say DSP is a cool guy and this and that. But that was also disingenuous on his part. So it's just him getting these softballs and acting like it's like everyone like he's on a baseball team. Everyone's using a real baseball, but then when DSP goes up to bat, he gets a softball, and then everyone's like, "Wow, guys, DSP is so good!" And all the players are like, "Yeah, let's let him get a home run," and they don't like try to get him out. They let him like run the base, and that's what this is. Keem and Kino Casino has allowed DSP to hit home runs so much that DSP thinks he's so smart. Because, like, he thinks he worked Keem and got him to say, wow, DSP's cool, but all Keem was doing was trying to get DSP on LolCal Live. And it didn't work, and Keem moved on, because Keem's a big boy. He can do whatever. Kino Casino is just fucking around with Phil at this point, and DSP's like, wow, guys, I got their wheels to give me money to buy a PC and a new streaming PC, guys. Aren't I cool? But, like, look where it landed him. That's all he got out of this. PB has gotten far more content out of DSP and is getting far more money out of him than DSP has gotten out of them. It's a complete clown show. And he got DSP to leak their own DMs. So PB could just point at Phil and say, well, he did it first, guys. Look at him. He did it. He's the one, not me. I'm not the bad guy. He is.
And he's got me reaching out, saying Medicare's name, bothering Medicare constantly to try to do this content.
Again, if he knew they were snaking him and he was taking them in return, why do this? Like, it's so funny to me. The things he backs out are the stuff that we know he would never do regardless of the situation. But he doesn't back out of the things that are actually things that are in his wheelhouse that he could do, but that would also be negative for him. And he still does it. He, like, the Truth Seekers, like, was a bad idea. He does it anyway. Why? Who knows? But he got him, I guess. Alright.
And I don't care. I don't want anything to do with this, but I'm doing it because, again, I'm trying to stay in their good graces, make them feel like I'm their friend. All right?
But, like, you don't have to do what they do to be in their good graces. Again, you notice he never talks to people like they're actual people. Like, PB's telling him all these ideas. He's not working with these ideas. He's just doing what they're telling him. Is that I'm trying to be in their good graces. You don't have to be a complete yes man to be in their good graces. And ironically, that's what he wants out of his chat, if you think about it. He wants his audience to constantly be in his good graces by being a yes man to him. This is like, this is really reporting on himself, on just how much of a control freak he is, and how much he doesn't want any pushback. He can't do any confrontation in any meaningful way. He always backs out. in weird ways that make him look worse. And he's willing to do that if it means to get out of it. Like, instead, like, he eggs people on that want to start a beef with him. Then when it comes time, I'm an alcoholic. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Ja. I'm so pathetic. And he's like, I don't want to beat this guy up. And then he moves on with his life because they feel bad for him. And he thinks that's like a W. That's all this is. This is the most Christian level shit you could get.
I feel bad. I legit feel bad that
Legit feels bad.
sadly, Medicare might have actually gotten bothered by this if he really is sick, you know, and he's having all these issues. All right. So,
Wait, what?
sadly, Medicare might have actually gotten bothered by this if he really is sick, you know, and he's having all these issues.
Did he apologize?
All right. So,
did he ever apologize for this?
I just don't want anything to do. You know what I'm saying? I don't.
I don't think he ever apologized to Medicare. I'm just gonna say that. If he did, then I'm wrong, but I don't think he ever did. And he's like, well, you know, it's fucked up that this happened, then why don't you apologize? Only people who are weak apologize.
Don't, okay? All right.
Holy shit, Dummy Koala. Like, someone reposted what Dummy Koala said, unfortunately, the king denied my sword application without reason. Uh-oh.
So, went through all of that. We're almost done. Basically, what I think I want to do to end, all right, is to explain how it finally fell apart and all of that.
All
okay.
Right. Let's go. It's
so. Oh, by the way, FYI, should I give you guys the links now, or you know what? No, I'll do my final segment and then I'll give you guys the links, and then you can feel free to go through all of this. No, guys, I know people are saying Bregon, Ethan, Ralph. I'm almost done with this. All right, I'm gonna be basically going for like another half an hour. I just want to explain the end of this and why I ended it.
Man, they really wanted Ethan, but they're getting him next week, guys. He's gonna be on Smart Guys. Pretty cool, huh?
Why I'm doing this. Okay.
I just love that he watched all this stuff about Ethan, and then he's like, yeah, let's get him on. And it's like, you know, you'd think, right? You wouldn't want to kind of deal with like people in that kind of realm, like at all. And yet he's like, yeah, let's bring him on. Let's keep talking to these people. Okay. So it just shows, honestly, the fact that he invited Ethan Ralph, that this is all fake. This whole master plan thing, and it's all just cope because he's still doing shit that is not in his good interest. That I'm sure at one point PPP probably I think he wanted Ethan to interact with DSP. He wanted that to happen, and that's what he got. And as you can see, that's how deep his fucking up went, and he's getting everything he ever wanted. It's crazy.
So this is it. This will be the end, right? Like this last segment, and then I'm gonna give you guys the links, and you can feel free to go through them yourself, and you can enjoy, because again, this is all something that
I'll read the links on my own time. Like I'll do a video on it, but I'm not gonna do it in this video.
And they bought it hook, line, and sinker.
Hook, line, and sinker.
Which, by the way, you guys don't even realize something, but I'm gonna bring it up in a second. All right, which is actually the culmination of all of it that just happened to happen today. Okay. So,
it just
lastly,
happened,
why did it all fall apart? All right. Why did this all start happening?
How did it all fall apart?
Basically, after I did that show,
are we gonna
with
open?
Steve Cambion?
Are we gonna open the files?
And the fact that this show was meant to set me up, it's obvious. Up to then, these guys had kind of been transparent about everything, and I kind of felt like here's the deal. If you really look over the whole history of what I did with these guys, the initial meeting
he opens the folder. The end game and falling apart. He leaves that folder and immediately wants to open another folder. This dude really can't do this correctly. He's not even showing the DMs correctly. He's not going over them. He's not showing them in the actual DM window and on Twitter. Like, He's not doing anything. Dude, Oni is saying in this chat, where is the receipts? Where's the receipts?
I did the first show with them, the React to the Review Tech USA documentary, right? And, of course, me going and doing that Josh Moon interview, I would say we're all gold, and that was a month of good stuff, right? That was amazing. But after that, literally everything these guys came up with canceled because they have no fucking clout. Mudahar cancels and ghosts them and doesn't talk to them anymore.
Dude, how does he know that Mudahar doesn't talk to them? All he knew was that his Twitter, like, he stopped using Twitter, and that's it. Like, he doesn't know what happened. They just said it just fell through. A lot of things could have happened in Mudahar's life, right?
Anymore. It's a Gundam, which they claim is going to be the slam fucking dunk of content. Cancels, won't do it, bitches out, and then they destroy him.
But how is that like, showing that they don't have any clout? They are reaching out and other people are canceling. That's like saying DSP has no clout because he can't, like, do anything. I mean, he doesn't even try, though. I mean, but he actually can. He has no clout. Like, look how people are reacting to this. If this was anyone else, it would have been, like, a bigger deal, right? Rich left, and his view count is dropping. It went from, like, 1,300 to 1,094, and it kept dropping. And it went down to, like, the basic numbers, basic bitch numbers. And nobody after this, like, usually when there's something like this that's going on, you will see people be like, oh yeah, Phil, you're right, fuck them, whatever. That never happened. Like, it just went back to business as usual, basically. Nobody cared enough to even, like, defend DSP in this claim that he was snaking them the whole time, because nobody believed him.
Behind the scenes calling him a pussy, saying that he, big talker, but he won't do any content. He'll only do content when it's shooting fish in a barrel. He'll never do.
And again, DSP said in the same stream he knew that they were snaking him, but he thinks he's operating on the basis that PPP was being genuine in these DMs. And we know that's a lie. Like, and DSP is the one saying that he's trying to assure us that he's lying. But you look at these DMs, and it's hard. It's like it's so unbelievable. It's like when you go to those back in the day when he was on Discord, before we knew who he was in WWE Champions for sure, and this guy was making posts LARPing as if he wasn't DSP. How bad it was. Like, it was really to the point where the only thing people were, like, holding off on is just the fact that it could not have been DSP. Just like, maybe it's not. But when you see when you saw all those Discord posts, there were people who were just like, well, that's pretty damning, because nobody talks in text like DSP. DSP cannot play a character to save his life. He like, if this dude was a CIA agent, they would find him out immediately. They're like, this guy is a double agent, fucking kill him. Like, it would just be so, he would be awful at the job. If he was in Hollywood, he would never get an Oscar. He would only get Razzies. He'd be the only person on the planet to actually deserve a Razzie. Like, a lot of people can say, this is a semi-derailment, like, people can say, well, Razzie is, like, kind of a Razzie to actual actors and actresses, whatever. But DSP would be the only person where everyone would collectively say he deserves it. That was made for him. Because this dude sucks. So he's trying to push so hard that this is him playing a character. I'm lying to them. But the things he's saying make sense regardless. And he's getting, and then he's saying, like, genuinely, they can't get anything going, guys. Look at this. They can't get anything going. But the first interaction about it's a Gundam, DSP didn't want to do it. And, like, it come on.
An honest show with anyone. Okay. Medicare. Oh, Medicare will be the best, the big one, the big win. Can't get them, can't get them, can't get them. All right, you try by yourself. That doesn't work. So every idea they're coming up with, awful, 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 none of them work. The few little pieces of content that we're trying to do, for example, when we did the zombies co-op, it doesn't explode or do much, right? So
Right?
what am I left to do? You know, actually, to be honest, at the beginning of this year, I was probably going to cut off contact with them at that point because I didn't feel like I was getting anything out of it anymore. But I was trying to figure out the way out. Or I was. I wanted to do it in a way that made sense. And basically, we were starting up
Wait.
because I didn't feel like I was getting anything out of it anymore. What am I left to do? You know,
Let me do this again.
when we did the zombies co-op, it doesn't explode or do much, right?
Right.
So what am I left to do? You know, actually, to be honest, at the beginning of this year, I was probably going to cut off contact with them at that point because I didn't feel like I was getting anything out of it anymore.
Okay.
But I was trying to figure out the way out.
So that's all it is. That's all it is in all reality. He just could not. He's not creative enough at all, and he couldn't. And he wasn't able to squeeze any content out of them. Like they served their purpose, and he was ready to move on back to his unsuccessful life. And he's sitting there like, how can I get out of this?
Or I was.
What is successful snaking by DSP, right? Okay.
I wanted to do it in a way that made sense. And basically, we were starting up Smart Guys, and I was like, you know what? Let's figure this out together. Let's do Smart Guys and see how it goes. And if the show does well, all right, then we'll keep going for a while, and I'll play it by ear. But if the show tanks and doesn't do well,
he really just wanted to end it by the end of WrestleMania. That's what he's gonna do. Like, it's so obvious because, you know, come on, it's DSP. He doesn't care about things in any real way. He's only care about it when it's like relevant, like WrestleMania is, right?
well, then instead I'll cut off with these guys and we'll be done. All right. So this long con started off great. I get a giant surge of views and support, and it dies out within just a few months. And I'm like, these guys, I thought that they were big shit. They're not. These guys are pretenders. They get hyped because they shit on others, but they don't actually have the clout.
He knew they were a drama stream though, and like this is what like this really just exposes just how flimsy this whole thing is. He said he knew these people were drama. He cates them out. You're drama people. He goes in and he noticed, right, that none of his he didn't workshop anything. Like you think, right? Maybe what he wanted to do, like he wanted to go into this little drama stream, and he wanted to like do positive content. Like he would pitch like them like, oh, why don't we like do this positive thing? Let's do that positive thing. And then, like, it could be successful. And then he could say, see, guys? Like, this is successful. But they just want to do drama. But DSP did not do any of that. Because I'm just going to be honest. When DSP says that gaming is positive content, it's a nothing statement. Gaming is it's neutral. It's just straight up neutral. Because it's a video game. You can literally, like, play a video game and go on a hateful tirade for anyone for whatever reason if you really wanted to make it negative. You can play fucking Call of Duty and say, I love the world, I love Earth. Like, it doesn't matter. Playing games is not innately positive. It's just playing a video game. It's a neutral stance. And you go to his streams, I've said this thousands of times. They're just nothing. It's just nothing content. Like, it's just nothing. And people were saying that he was playing As Creed Shadows, and the whole time he was just being negative. And I sat there and it's like, yeah, because this game has a lot of negative reputation. He knows people hate this game. He knows there's a decent amount of people that don't like Ubisoft in general, and there's also a lot of people who don't like the game for a lot of other reasons, etc., etc. So it's easy for him to shit on the game and hide behind a bandwagon. He doesn't have to side with anyone. He can say, yeah, guys, the game sucks, guys. Yeah, the game sucks, yeah. like if someone comes in and says, "Yeah, this game is woke. Fuck this game," and he can say, "Well, yeah, the game is bad. I don't know about woke, but it's pretty bad, man. Yeah, fuck this game," and nothing genuine. So of course he's gonna shit on the game. He doesn't have to sit there and like argue about it. Like, and then he'll play like South of Midnight, and it's gonna be a game where it's like, well, I don't think the game's woke, but like the game might be boring, and that's what it's gonna be. It's just he's gonna say it's boring, or he's gonna say it's good, but I don't like the wokeness in it, or whatever the fuck. He's gonna find some fence in it, or be very quick to defend it, or he's gonna give it the Life is Strange defense. I knew it was gonna have some woke thing, so it's fine. But like I don't like that stuff, but I knew what this was in. It's like okay, it's like going to a stand-up shop. Like this dude is complete nonsense. And he does this, and he's like, I want to find a way out because there's nothing positive coming out of this. But he rode the wave of negativity. He got money off of it. He did it on his own content. It seeped into his own streams. And he's sitting there like, yeah, guys, I couldn't get anything out of it. Yeah, but he didn't want to do anything. Like, notice that both when he decided, yeah, man, I don't want to do drama content all the time, and this, that, coincided basically when he slowly started to, like, wind down from this, because he didn't care. All this is just, the only snaking he did, or the thing that he used them for, is just the cloud, which he does anyways. He has done this to everyone. And it's not like some master plan either, because anyone is capable of doing this. Like it's not even like amazing. Like the reason why people are like shitting themselves over PPP doing this is because look what PPP got out of it. Like he got DSP to show off his underwear, to do dances, to grill him to his face, to embarrass him, to do all this stuff. What did DSP do? Make money. This is a basic claim that people can throw about anyone. And this is the behavior, by the way, that he claims grifters do. This is him grifting. That's all this is. Like, at the end of the day, this is not DSP snaking. This is DSP grifting. And this grift is so basic that it's embarrassing. And this is the behavior he shat on. I said this before in the last video. He brings up how Craig would just join in, shitting on the detractors, and this, and then he'd leave. He'd bail. He'd leave them like out in the cold or whatever the fuck. That's what he's doing. And he can't really say he's any better than these people. He's doing the shit he said he would never do. And he can't say, this is a master plan. With that logic, Craig could literally just put out a stream saying, yeah, guys, you notice that interview? Yeah, I snaked him. Like, this is a nothing statement. And this is bullshit. And not even a W. Like, he thinks it is. But at the end of the day, even if we give it to him, right? Let's say, okay, guys, yeah, DSP snaked PPP. He's admitting to doing the things he said were awful and mentally ill and deranged and evil and all this shit. He went back on all these morals. Again, shocking nobody. This dude would sell out his own fucking family if it meant he would get money. Honestly, if someone convinced him enough, he would probably sell Cat off into slave labor if he could and get away with it. That's the kind of guy DSP is. He'd sell out his own family. Because this dude has no morals. If he did, he wouldn't be doing this.
Clout or connections to really make the content that they think they do. They want to be Keemstar, but they're not.
And again, these are all, it just means nothing. And it's embarrassing that we knew PPP was lying to him. And DSP's like, yeah, they were staking me, guys, but I was staking them too. So then why are you acting as if these DMs are legit, right? He can't fathom that maybe they also lied to the DM, so only he was lying. See, I guess the DSP, oh my god, this is so autistic. He thinks that they were only, like, lying and being, like, snaking and all this stuff on camera, but behind the scenes they were being genuine to him. But he, like, it's so weird and stupid logic. Like, it sounds dumb. I know people may not believe it, but DSP has not really shown me that he has a brain. Like, I really don't think he has any logic. Like, I'm just not convinced. This is why people don't believe the valedictorian shit. This is why people like call things to school to find out, because this stupidity is like so dumb. Like, it's hard to take serious. And he assures, I'm not stupid, guys. Look at this. And it's like, this is a dude who ate shit for 8 months and then said, aha, I might have eaten shit, but I got money though. It's like, yeah, okay, you got paid to eat shit. That's an own? Dude, you were eating shit for money. Like what's more embarrassing, right?
Hate Keemstar because they can't be Keemstar. All right? It's just ridiculous. So maybe I did get into bed with the wrong snakes.
Oh.
Here.
You know what's funny? Shout out to Looted World Order. This may be a deep cut for those longtime viewers of mine. There was this one guy that was that wanted to start shit with me, and I was like, I don't want to do that. I just want to just do my own shit, whatever, right? This guy was found eating shit. Whoa, dun dun dun. But whatever, it is what it is. The dude is also kind of like, I'll just say, like, questionable character. You know, he probably would side with on the wrong side in World War II. I'll put it that way. Dun dun dun. Like, whatever, right? Correct?
Here, I thought I was the king snake and I was gonna eat them up, but these guys aren't doing anything for me at this point. Like, nothing.
Wait, what?
So maybe I did get into bed with the wrong snakes. Here, I thought I was the king snake and I was gonna eat them up.
So he's admitting he couldn't even, like, get anything out of this. He did all this effort and got nothing. Oh, man. Meanwhile, PvP is sitting there, like, laughing his ass off and, like, bouncing over this. And DSP got nothing. He's admitting this was a failure. 8 months! 8 months! Oh, man.
But these guys aren't doing anything for me at this point. Like, nothing's working anymore, right? So what the hell? What a waste of time. Okay? So, after the Steve interview, when essentially that went so poorly, and it went poorly for everyone. Steve looked like an asshole because he kept yelling over me. It wasn't a good interview. Nothing new was actually revealed during the...
Wait, what?
Essentially, that went so poorly, and it went poorly for everyone. Steve looked like an asshole because he kept yelling over me. It wasn't a good interview. Nothing new was actually revealed during the interview at all. It was just the same...
Oh my god. Shouts out. Lying about your wife being sick is disgusting. Ah, yes.
Detractor shit, and all that happened is the detractors threw money over at
But that was
Steve.
the point. Like, this is really stupid, right? He knew, but again, he went on that show knowing full well it was gonna snake him, according to him. He did it, and then afterwards, he was just raking in money from it. Like, that's just gonna happen. Now PB's raking in the money for doing this. Like, and I love him acting as if this is a new thing. So he's saying this is a brand new thing. In the same breath saying, well, other people do it. Greg did it. This guy did. That guy did it. And it's like, at this point, it's not a new discovery. You can't say, guys, they're falling for it. Look how stupid this is. Like, but meanwhile, what was he hoping to get from this again? Oh, he wanted to get attention. He wanted to get clout. He wanted to drive their audience from them to him, right? What is this? What is this, Phil? Oh, you're trying to get money showing your own receipts that are like Clownland. Note, and yet again, notice we're not even reading the DMs of the falling out right now. We're not even doing that. Oh my god.
Steve. All right? Which is exactly what happened with side scroller. It's the same as the side scroller shtick. So there's nothing surprising here. It's just exactly what we all expected. Correct?
Correct.
Okay. So all of a sudden, I start noticing that PPP is now starting to insult me
Okay,
and
now we're
saying
doing it.
like
Now we're
snide
in that.
remarks and comments.
No, we're
I've
not
even doing
opening
it
yet.
all along on his show, but it seems like it's starting to escalate. All right? It starts like it's starting to escalate badly. Like
Yeah,
on the
because
show.
he's trying to get you to respond. Again, he's basically doing this.
Are you gonna boohoo or are you gonna yeehaw? All right, are you gonna boohoo or are you gonna
Yeah,
yeehaw?
exactly.
You're gonna boohoo or yeehaw?
The grill fill segments, which used to be like 20 minutes, are now becoming an hour. And it's not even interesting. It's not even paying off.
Dude, it was more interesting than what you're actually talking about. Like the wrestling stuff. Like, I mean, I don't know about anyone else who likes wrestling because whatever. I'm sure there's like a degree of something that's interesting. But even then, like even PvP said this, DSP is terrible. He doesn't watch the show. He gets the and DSP gouts it, whatever. DSP gout literally posts clips showing the actual event and then showing how DSP described it, showing there's discrepancies into what he's talking about. And I'll give DSP the only leeway in that sometimes you do misremember after watching something. Like I could watch an episode of something, then the next day, forget minor details. But this dude writes notes and he gets things wrong. But he also says like I watched summaries and this and that. And PB just sat there like, yeah, I know he doesn't watch it. Yeah, like he like and PB typed for the majority of it. So of course, in comparison, the grill fill was more interesting to an outsider. Why would anyone want to sit there and listen to a guy who barely watched the fucking event and a dude that's just basically talking to himself?
The grill fill, which is again, this is Ashton's idea. Let's grill fill on smart guys for a whole hour. It's not getting us views. It's not getting us support. It's not getting us anything. All it's doing is wasting all of our time and killing our momentum.
Again, look at DSP's measuring it by money. Ashton PPP is literally measuring the success of it by just people reacting to it. That's why he knew it was entertaining because he knew people were talking about it. Who I have not seen anyone talk about DSP's takes at all in wrestling. Even if you go back to the politics show when he did that, all people were saying was, "What an idiot." That's all it was. Nobody was saying, "Wow, what a good point. This guy made a really good point." But you watch him doing the wrestling show, the one thing you think DSP would be good at, and it's just like nothing and nothing. Meanwhile, when PB did Grill Phil, guess what? Everyone was talking about it. That's why he knew people were entertained by it. But the moment it focused on just wrestling, people just tuned out, and the only people that stuck around were people who actually liked wrestling. But it's like, but now I would argue it's even worse with the card packs. Like, who fucking cares, man? But he does the card packs like, look at this card, oh wow. You watch him play WWE Champions on stream. Oh, we got this. Whoa! Okay, guys, we're gonna do this, man. Let's do that, man. He was like more engaged in that. Why is he more engaged in that than something that has a tangible value that he can resell, right?
Momentum, because in reality, people are coming to smart guys to watch wrestling commentary, not see me get grilled. He thinks they are, but they never did. They never came there and supported because of that at all. Okay? So, this is
what if they did?
basically where things start to fall apart. All right? And basically, and again, you're going to see when you read through the logs, which all of you will, me saying things, you know, about
But
my
again, notice that DSP doesn't really do anything to like subvert PPP's expectation, right? Like he doesn't try to find another solution. As everyone said, he doesn't like come up with another of other ideas. He just shoots them down or says, "Yeah, let's do it," or play video games. That's all DSP contributed in this collaboration. He doesn't offer any meaningful ideas. He doesn't see what the only thing that DSP contributed to the Grill Phil segment was this kind of like, let's end with it. Let's do this with it. That's it. He doesn't like do anything. And then when it was like, why did you grill PPP? I can't, man. Okay.
my family members and stuff. He wants, you know, we're talking about flying places. I say I can't fly because I don't have a real ID. My mom is sick and all this stuff. Again, it's the same shtick, the same spiel, just trying to continue on.
The real ID could be true because he could still drive with a normal driver's ID, but now more and more, I don't know if it's nationwide yet or it is or whatever, but the real ID thing is slowly becoming an actual requirement for everyone to get. And it was just funny that he was asking PPP how to do it, but PPP lives in Canada, so how the fuck would he know what to do about real ID? That's like asking someone in Greece, "Hey, how do you get a U.S. passport?" It's like, I mean, barely the Greek consulate here doesn't know what the fuck they're doing in Greece. Oh man, don't get me started with that bullshit. I tell you what.
You want to get out of doing the shit I don't want to do because it's dumb shit that he keeps bringing up. Okay. So basically, I said to PPP.
But again, this is all stuff that he would have done anyway. Like, these are all excuses he would have thrown anyway. He has said, my parents are sick, as a lie before. He said that when he was going to Florida, to Connecticut in the first place. So he's no stranger to these lies. That's why, like, it's just, this isn't a chess game. He has made these lies in the past before. Like, when Kat was doing co-op, and then when he kept delaying the co-op streams, and he was like, "Oh, she was sick." It's like, yeah, he's saying bullshit, and it was. It's not even good. This is not even a good like cope at all. Oh my god! You know what? I wanted to use this fill in a fucking thumbnail. It's such a sad boy fucking pose. Like it, as I said, it just looks like a kid who's getting lectured and he's just sitting there like you know.
All right. Are you snaking me on Tuesday with Steve and you got your dates wrong? There's tons of people in my chat saying Steve will come on the casino on Tuesday, but that's when we do Smart Guys, so I have no idea what's going on. In my opinion, I'd be hurt if this were the case, but not surprised.
God, let's see the date. February 16th. Oh my god, I want to like, oh my god, I kind of want to find that video now. Where he was like, where you did a try hard like schedule drama, but I don't know if I want to. You know what? Maybe when I do DMs, if I do my DM video, I'll do that. I'll try to like pull up things. I don't know. I'll figure something out. I don't know. Because I really wonder. Because that would be very telling, right?
Surprised. And again, you guys have done so much for me. I move on and ignore it all, but it would be nice to know if we're actually doing it. So I have no idea what's going on. In my opinion, I'd be hurt if this were the case, but not surprised. And again, you guys have done so much for me. I move on and
again, if DSP knew this was a snaking, why would he do this, right? Again, this is like massive cope. He's not fooling anyone with this. Like, again, this is shit he has said before. He has told people this in the past. If you're doing this, do it now, or whatever the fuck. He said this sad boy shit before.
move on and ignore it all, but it would be nice to know if we're actually doing our show. So even thinking that after the Steve show, which was a snaking, that PPP might snake me again. All right. PPP says, no, he's screaming, right? From the beginning.
He's screaming in lowercase, guys. You know those people online who type in lowercase, they're screaming. He doesn't know how caps lock works at all. Because with that logic, he's screaming with these paragraphs, right? He sent Rich even longer paragraphs than this. So was he screaming at Rich then? But screaming is with caps lock. But this is like, oh my god. I was drinking, watching hockey. Let's see. I said that you were. Oh my god, this is so. Oh my god, there's one sentence. I'm gonna read it. I have to. I have to. Where is it? But I can't make you. I can't make you walk several times. Let you keep every penny. I can show you the door, but I can't make you walk through it. I can lead you to water, but I can't make you drink. You claim you would have been okay with Steve doing a pressing interview like this, and you would have agreed to it. But your reaction today, and since has proved anything but. I would like. Oh wait, hold. Oh my god, but I would like for you. I would like for your content to be interesting and for more people to watch it, but ultimately you are content to sit to slowly dwindling audience and just pray to God a new whale somehow falls from the sky ever so often. You constantly ask when really in it for ask what's really in it for you to do things outside. And guess what? This is cropped. This is cropped. But he might have zoomed in, to be fair. This, he's screaming. But he literally stood there. DSP said it was okay if it was a pressing interview. What? And as I said, it's very funny. Oh my god, and Matt. Oh, dude, you know what would be fucked up and funny if PPP recorded that call, because DSP said that there was a part about that Steve thing that they talked on Discord. They did not talk in the DMs. Oh my god, if PPP recorded that. Oh my god, I hope he did. I hope he did. Because, like, that would. Because, to a degree, it may not be in these DMs. But the fact PPP said that DSP said it was okay with a pressing interview, and all this stuff he said about how he can't lead DSP to water is like. At that point, it was like PPP's mask was like kind of like falling off at that point. And DSP still did content with us after that.
In the beginning, we presented you as a big deal. You're a legend from the past. I'll give you a massive audience in a new way. Helped you make thousands shitting on RTU. You're able to get a whole brand new setup. You became too stuck in your ways when it came to being partisan in politics and not wanting to do drama and wanted to do it your way still, and you've never grabbed that brass ring. You let oppression slip with bad performances on the casino, and doing the same old content on your show, it wasn't appealing to a broader audience. I went for fun because I like you decided to take a day out of my week to do wrestling with you, and several times let you keep the penny. But that's a few times he did let me keep all the money on the show, and I always told you guys that too. I can lead you to water, but I can't make you drink. You said you would have been okay with Steve doing a pressing interview like this, and you would have agreed to it, but your reaction today has proved anything but. It's false. My reaction was, you should have told.
Oh my god, this is embarrassing. What these people
told me exactly what Steve was going to talk about, and that it was going to be a detractor interview, because then we could have made it good. Because you didn't, it sucked. It didn't benefit me. All he's going to do is get the
He said it was a pressing interview. What do you think pressing means, DSP?
tractor dollars, and this is lame. We could have done more with it if you were transparent with me, but you snaked me on it. Why weren't you transparent?
No, this is bullshit. You know damn well because like how he reacted. I almost want to go back to the fucking it's a Gundam. You know, I am gonna do it. Fuck it. Fuck this. I'm gonna write down. Yeah, timestamp. What is this? I think this is. Oh, hold on. This is just like something I want to throw out. That's all it is. Calm down, everyone. Oh my god, there we go. Alright. This was... Did I knock the camera? Sorry, I feel like I made a loud noise in the mic. Yeah, it's fine. Oh my god. Come on. I want to disable preview. There we go. Alright, this is 2:45. 1:4. Okay. Let's see if I can find the It's a Gundam. No. Scrappy Doo.
I live in a private community for a reason. That I told them, you know, I really can't be the villain of the internet because this PPP wants me to be the villain.
Okay, let's see. Was this the It's a Gundam?
So what happens? Basically, I said eventually, PPP is completely setting up It's a Gundam. 100%. That's the point of this original appearance,
Right.
was that they were trying to set him up so that he would be embarrassed publicly. Okay? So what happens?
So, PB wants to set up It's a Gundam. So, what happens? Well, let me tell you, buddy.
Basically, I said, you know, you sure I'm not going to get fucked in the whole deal because I don't really know too much about it. And they assure me, no, you know, you're not. Now, this is the first time that I told them, you know, I really can't be the villain of the internet because this PPP wants me to be the villain. Let me explain the narrative here. All right.
Okay.
PPP wants me to be the villain of the internet. He wants me to portray myself like the worst person possible for drama views. And he thinks that if I did that, that I would absolutely explode in popularity. I'd make 10 times more money, get 10 times more views. All right. And I explained to PPP, listen, I can't do that. Why? Because I got a wife and she's not been feeling well.
Okay.
And she found religion and she doesn't want me involved in this kind of drama stuff. Okay. Now, you guys already know, because I already told you this, some of that is true. Actually, last year, Kat actually did have some health problems. All right. So you're going to see me talking about some of that in these logs. All right.
Right.
But in reality, and by the way, I can take off these headphones now.
Okay.
Thankfully.
Right.
Okay.
Thankfully.
Basically, I don't want to change myself to be completely a drama guy. I'll do drama. All right. But these guys are trying to push me to the absolute extreme. They're trying to make it so that I will be hated by everyone on the internet, but it doesn't matter because I'll make big money. All right.
Right.
So basically, I was like, you know, I'm going to make something up. Now, every good lie starts.
See, the first instance of doing that, he said no. No. I'm gonna fast forward a little bit.
But they don't know that. So what do? You tell the sob story. You know, she's not feeling good. She found religion. I can't be the villain. All right? I can't go that far. Now, what's funny is PPP bought it so bad that he's telling
again.
me that he's going to send people over to tip me, which is kind of funny. It was
Yeah,
true.
very
Maybe he
funny.
actually felt bad. He's slowing down because remember, patient, but nothing changed after this. Okay. So I clear out my slot or whatever. All right, here we go. Here is the results of what happens with PPP and Gundam. Get this. After all,
But then why did he say the lie in the first place? He said, "Oh, what? Oh, we can like, do something. It's a Gundam," and he's like, "I don't want to be like the bad guy and this and that because my wife found religion, blah blah blah." Like it just did not seem like these people wanted to do it. So what did he say at 2?
we could have done more with it if you were transparent with me, but you snaked me on it. Why weren't you transparent? Okay?
Because at that point, with It's a Gundam, he said, "Oh, I can't do it, man. I don't want to be a fucking mean guy, whatever the fuck." So, like, he said that because he knew you were gonna say no or find a way out. He wanted to make sure that you would be there. And again, this is all PvP is orchestrating DSP to do stuff that he wanted him to do, and he did it anyway. And it cannot be said enough. He did this saying he knew they were snaking him. So why? Why did you go on to the stupid Truth Seeker interview thinking it wasn't gonna be a trick? Right?
So he's still going. I would like you for your content to be interesting, for people to watch it. Ultimately, your content to sit in a slowly dwindling audience. And you're praying to God for a new whale to fall from the sky. All right? So, now because you did a favor for the other guy on my team that doesn't impact you in any real way other than you provide your spiral and lash out. That's disappointing. Go ahead, be a victim and make us out to be whatever you want. But I did try. And then I
Ooh.
apologized and said, all right, I don't think
And
you're
he
going to snake me.
apologized! He apologized for that! Oh, man.
Okay. And then he didn't. All right. But the truth is,
Wait, what?
want. But I did try. And then I apologized and said, all right, I don't think you're going to snake me. Okay. And then he didn't. All
And
right.
then he did it.
But the truth
Okay.
is, let me find it now. I already told you the idea was that he wanted to build up Steve as some kind of a supervillain character, that we were going to play games and go back and forth and insulting each other. Super boring. Who the hell was going to care and who was going to believe that? No one. No one was going to believe that. That was so unbelievably dumb. Like he was going to be.
How would it not be unbelievable? First off, number one, he called him a scammer, and he was like speaking the truth and this and that. Like immediately, like you saw Steve openly criticize DSP like hard. He had Broside Phil on, etc., etc. He got all the drugs on his side, right? And DSP went on to say that, oh, he snaked me and this and that. Like, how is that not believable? Okay.
Like evil Neo. And I was supposed to be the hero facing off against evil Neo, but all the detractors throw him money because he's felting me on his show or whatever. It's awful. All right? It really is. It's like grade school level shit. It's something you would see on Nickelodeon. It's not something that you would expect for content on the internet that's going to be popular. Everyone would have cringed. So at this point, I'm like, dude, I gotta find a way to get out of here.
Again, I just love that he sees this and he doesn't like really like offer creative like input and would rather just leave. Oh man, like he doesn't even know how would PvP react. He's like, well, I don't think we should do that with Steve. I think maybe we should like bring on this other person. I think that would work a lot better. Maybe, or we drop the Games Act and this and that, and maybe we do this instead. But no, let's not even try. Let's just leave. Because PvP is the one that has to come up. Because as DSP said, oh my god, this is just non-stop of DSP's fantasy that he's the straight guy, right? oh, I'm just witnessing the weirdness, and they're introducing me to the weirdness. Remember back when he was on Kino Casino, and that's how he hyped it up? Yeah, guys, I was on the Kino Casino, and they were introducing me to all this weird stuff, but that's like the point.
Really, like I have to get out of
Really?
this situation at this point. Okay. So I said, so here we go. Opinions on the last Smart Guys are split. Of course, it's doing incredibly well. Once we find the proper balance, it'll work. But we
Wait, what? Split, of course, but of course it's doing incredibly well. He just told us that it wasn't like nobody cared about the Grill Phil segment, but he's saying it's doing incredibly well. Okay.
but we need to shorten the show. I need to know the topics of Grill Phil earlier so I can prepare and the show will go better. And here we go. You laughing at the joke of my wife looking like Piper Niven was not cool, even if it wasn't intentional. I'm not trying to cause problems, but next time I'm going to say something and it's going to be uncomfortable, I have more than enough shit going on and you know that. All right?
Oh my god. And guess what? That other attempt never came. Isn't that funny? Again, classic Phil. The one time that confrontation can possibly happen, just so happens he doesn't have PPP on the next show. It's so funny, right? Like DSP makes a statement say that someone said I'll give you $40 to make a statement. He makes a statement. Overnight I think PvP like made a statement like on his own stream. But here DSP said, well, if you make a statement on the show, I'll say something. Like at that point, maybe PPP should have just not said anything and wait until the show, right? But we all know. He wasn't gonna say shit. This guy hates confrontation.
So I do confront him about him saying shit about my wife. Because this was actually the first time he had ever done it in front of my face. Up to now, the only time he had ever said something about my wife, okay, was actually on his content. So I wasn't even aware. People would send me clips. People would say, are you aware he's insulting you here, there, left, and right? And I'd be like, no. But then again, I'm not really paying attention. I'm not watching the casino every day. I have no intention of watching the casino every day. I don't want to be involved in that, right? But then he's sneak dissing me and my wife there, and then he's doing it on Smart Guys, right? So he says, let's take it back to the basics of wrestling. Okay? This is the rabbit conversation, which you guys are going to find, which is all bullshit. I needed to delay Smart Guys. I didn't want to do it that night, so I just made something up, but he...
Again, he did not make that up to be like, oh, I got him, I snaked him. It was just, I don't want to do this, so he came up with a lie. Again, I told someone about this, and they said that it's like George Costanza. And that's what it is. That's what it is. It's just him making up lies to not do things. He didn't do this for any other reason than just to have a little excuse in his back pocket when he doesn't want to do specific things. This has nothing to do with him snaking them. It's just him just being like, yeah, I don't want to do this. I can't just say no. I need to have a good excuse. Because that's DSP's logic. He can't just say, hey man, I can't do the Smart Guys this week. We have to do it next week. He can't just say that. He can't be honest with PPP and just say that. He has to come up with like, yeah, my rabbit exploded. Because why be honest, right? DSP, the honest guy, keeps lying. He keeps lying.
But he believes it because he's, gullible.
He believes it because he's gullible. Again. And he... Because let's say PvP calls him out on all these little lies. Well, guess what he's gonna say? Yeah, I lied, but look, I said my wife was sick and he didn't believe me, man. And that's the bait. That's what, since this PvP took him at his word, all these people could say was, wow, he's gullible, which doesn't, kind of makes DSP seem like a manipulator, right? But if PvP called him out on all these lies because Cat was sick And PB called him out on saying, yeah, she's out. It's like, okay, guys, I told you once true that she was sick. This guy didn't believe me. Get this. I tell someone that a wife is like, they're saying that I lied. I would lie about my own wife. You're saying that I would lie about my sickness? Wow. But now, this dude is just so happens to say, oh wow, these people believe me. It's to a point where it's like, maybe the thinking was he was hoping that PPP would like call him out so he could say, look guys, he called me out on these lies. But it's like, of course he's not gonna do that. Like this is the thing that more people should start doing with this guy and just call out everything he says. Which people in the chat, I'm not saying people in the chat or detractors or whatever, I'm saying, like, when people do stuff with him, they need to start confronting him about the bullshit he says more and more, even if he's honest. Because this dude will use it against you, and if he's gonna say, well, you're questioning me about the health of my wife, it's like, well, you did fault PPP for believing you, so why would I believe you? What if you're trying to, like, trick me? And that's all this kind of does. But it's so disingenuous to tell a half-truth and then mock someone for giving you the benefit of the doubt, as this dude cries and begs people to take him seriously. I would never lie. I would never lie to people. Give me a chance. I'm an honest guy. I don't like what these trolls say where I lied. By the way, I lied to PvP. Isn't he an idiot? Okay.
Now, here we go.
And lying about Rabbit dying, fuck you. You know, Cleo will remember this whenever this fucker dies, and she's gonna, like, personally kick him all the way down to hell. And that's what's gonna happen. You know, when we all go to heaven, that's not gonna be our heaven. It's Cleo's heaven. That's Cleo's domain. Okay, so she's the one that determines who gets in, who goes to hell. You know, so she's not like this guy. Like, oh, you lied about a fucking rabbit. Well, you're going to hell, bitch. You're going to super hell, not even normal hell. You're going to super hell.
This is last week, and this is when the crap all hit the fan. All right. FYI, trolls went crazy hard on my stream today, bombarding me with messages saying that you called me a lazy POS on a casino last night. You called my wife fat and more. I ignored it, but that's apparently their narrative now. Then he says, oh, I'm sorry. I was doing that routine. I honestly think you should take a few days to recuperate and have some stiff drinks and watch shows with your wife. Everyone can see her having a great tough time right now. I feel badly to be affecting you in any way. I'm going to lay off with the smart ass stuff. Try to rest up. Things will get better. I'm worried about you, so take care of yourself. Have some weed. And I'm only partly kidding.
Have some weed. Have some weed. Oh my god, he's telling me to get high. I would never get high in my life. I am not a pothead. You know what they say? You take one sniff. You take one smoke of weed. You're on to meth. That's the next thing.
All right, and I said it right here. I accept your answer, but I told you I had an issue with you making fun of Kat on Smart Guy, so why are you doing this on your show? I'm trying to understand it. I have both friends.
Again, DSP knew these were drama people, then wanted to snake them, but is getting upset after trolls were making fun of DSP for not getting upset about him making fun of his wife. Now he's getting upset about him making fun of his wife, during his snaking. Okay.
Friend of foe alike now telling me to sever ties with you because you're not my friend and you're using me. And what does he say? It makes sense if I find something funny to say, I'm going to say it. I find what is taboo boundary pushing to be funny and shocking in a way. All right.
By the way, DSP said that was his humor. I used to push back. Remember South Park? I was like South Park. And then he would go on to say how the internet has changed. It's full of sissies, pussies. Everyone's a snowflake. They can't handle this or that. PB hits him with that same thing. Oh, well, I'm just pushing boundaries, man. I'm like South Park. And he's just like, that's me. That's personal information. But what he was saying about Kat is like, she's fat. Now, if DSP doesn't care and if Kat doesn't care, that's one thing. But he could have at least been like, he could have said something about it, right? But it kind of flies in the face. Like, again, it's another lose-lose position, right? Because he can't say it doesn't bother her when she doesn't show up on stream because people are making fun of her being fat, right? So it's obvious that she does care about being made fun for being fat. So if that's the case, then why not call PPP out for making fun of her being fat those multiple times? It took him all the way till March 12th, which was like what, last week, for him to say this. And P has said this for a year, and he didn't want to have any confrontation. He only talked about like that one wrestler that he claimed that she looked like or whatever.
So I feel bad that, you're going through any hard times. I like to push buttons anyway. I went too far this week. I wasn't treating you like a person, more like content, and I'm very sorry for that. So again, he's apologizing.
But guess what DSP said? That okay, I have to find that pre-stream. I have to now. He forced my hand. Oh man. Tale of Strife in Japan. Okay, whatever. Oh man. Not a calm response. Let's see. That was 7 days ago. March 13th. See, March 12th. I think it was this one.
He knows how I feel. So it's one thing for him to bring me up, make fun of me. They've done a lot for me. Go ahead, make fun of me, say I'm a loser, whatever you want to do. I don't really give a fuck. I've got thick skin. But you don't bring my wife and
Okay, this is. Come on,
family and other people into it to have no fucking involvement in any of this shit. Period. Okay? That's when you've gone over the line. Okay?
Whatever. I mean, but I think he even said in his little call out video, in this one, I think he also said if he apologized, he let him on. Like, I kind of don't want to find it. Oh man. Let's try Pig Go. Impromptu. Oh, gross. No. He says he. Sorry. Man, this is nasty work. I can't find what I want to find. This is bullshit. Jade, sorry to hear that. I'm sorry, Jade. I think I'll find it with this, though. I do think that. Wait, what am I doing? I use dates. Oh my god, I'm stupid. Let's see. I'll do that and to the 13th. Alright. Never be changed. What? Oh, I can't find what I'm looking for, but I know for a fact. He said, okay, guys. Yeah, if he apologizes, I'll let him on. The same day this was going on. And now he's like, yeah, man, this is what I knew. It was fucked up. And he apologized. He apologized anyway.
Apologizing. But what's the point of apologizing if you do it anyway?
But
when you're apologizing,
he said that day, that very day, well, if he apologizes, let him on, man, but he has to apologize. He apologizes. Well, what's the point of apologizing if you don't mean it? But how are you going to verify if he means it if he doesn't show up on your stream, stupid? Right? Correct?
Apologizing for something, but then you're doing it anyway, it doesn't matter. You've already done it again and again. Your apology is invalid if you keep...
But he has apologized thousands of times within this 8-month span, and DSP still hung around with him. But now suddenly he's like, okay, man, how can you keep apologizing? Right? Like, it's dumb. But this is the same dude that does the same shit, and when he says sorry, we all have to accept his apology. Like, dude, it's so easy for him to sit there and be like, yeah, man, apologize to me, apologize. But when it comes time for him to apologize, fuck you. Eat shit.
Doing the bad thing. So at this point, I know that his apologies don't mean anything either. So what does he say? I want to make it clear, if you do want to cut ties, I completely understand, and I think that you'll do well no matter what. It was at that moment that I decided I'm going to cut ties with this guy.
Oh my god. Oh my god. This dude is so pathetic. He only cut ties because PPP also said he was fine with cutting ties. Which to me begs the question. If he did not send that, would DSP still be so cucked? He'd force PPP to hang around. Like, this is so sad. And for him to act as if this is a W is like, oh man, man, really?
All right? He's saying, he's apologizing, saying he's sorry for what he did, but basically he cannot control himself. Okay? So you can cut ties and we're all good. All right? So.
As I said, this screams this was not a snaking from Phil, because, like, all he's admitting to, in my opinion, is just that he grifted their clout, which, I mean, people were accusing him of doing that from the get-go. Like, people knew PB was snaking him, but people knew DC was just only in it for the attention, which, you know, he was in it for. And that's all this confirmed. This is, like, the dumbest fucking stream, and he thinks he was like a mastermind. DSP, we know you're a grifter. We know you are. You don't have to, like, tell us.
I said that's pretty much what
this super chat gets it. All this shows is you're too cowardly to say no to PPP. The fact, I can't get over. It took PPP to say, I understand if you want to cut ties, for DSP to be like, I'm going to cut ties. If he didn't say that, what would have DSP done? That's how fucked this is for him. And he's acting as if this is like, oh, I got him, guys. Look how cool I am. You look like a bitch, dude. Come on.
That's what I thought you were going to say. I have thick skin. I get it. Now people are 100% thinking that you're using me. I don't know what we're going to do moving forward, basically. We need boundaries, you know? And he says, I happen to like that there's different ways to interpret what's going on, and there's not very...
Oh my god, and he continued to talk after that. That's even, oh my god. Because if that was the case, he just wanted out, I would have just said, okay. That's cool, be like, no hard feelings, see you on the flip-flop, whatever, right? Then leave. No. DSP had to continue talking. He had to continue the conversation.
Not very straightforward. I think people get invested. I see that you're crashing out. Now, this was the next day's podcast. This was the podcast I did last week where I said I have 3 options. Option 1 is being a sellout. Option 2 is being a massive drama queen villain for the internet like PPP wants me to be. Or number 3 is to go the third route and go straight down the middle. All right? He thinks that's crashing out because I don't want to do path 2. Little does he know that all along, this whole thing has been a setup. I've lied to him for 8 straight months about all this shit. I'm only going along for the ride because essentially I wanted to get more views and money and give myself a boost.
Say it with me, everyone. DSP was grifting. He was grifting all along. Guys, you know that one song from that hit Disney show everyone was talking about? Aggie did it all, whatever the fuck? Yeah, it's like that song, but it's DSP was grifting all along. Like that. Just play that song and change the words and actually make it good. There you go. Like, this is like not even like shocking, and it wouldn't surprise me if PPP knew for a fact that DSP was grifting them the whole time. He probably knew, and that's probably what he was using to get him on, right? He probably was like, yeah, he's gonna want to come on and like get clout off of us. We're gonna let him in to do that, and then we're gonna fucking say he's an idiot. And that's what happened. That's all this is. To sit there and say like, oh yeah, I was lying. I just did this to like get ahead. Which, guess what? DSP has shat on every single person who has done grifting for this very thing. And he said he's doing it. Which is a fucking immoral thing, right? Right? And even if you want to go on the path of that, well, Theo, PvP was kind of fucked up. He did this whole thing to orchestrate Phil to do all this stuff. But DSP could have said no. What was PvP gonna do if DSP stood by his morals that he cares so much about? Like, you could say as much as you want that PPP is wrong for doing what he did, but DSP also did something wrong. Neither of these people came out looking good, but at the same time, PPP was being more honest in his intentions. Everyone around him, everyone who was looking in, knew he was exploiting Phil. But DSP was just in it to get ahead. That's all this is. This was not DSP's master plan. This is his MO all the time. Every instance is just him to get ahead. That's what everything is. That's why he did interviews with Lugo at the time. That's why he tried to get Brian on at the time. This is why he does all the things he's done, is to use it for clout. This is the biggest load of bullshit he is trying to push, and no one's buying it. This is embarrassing.
I don't really like him. I think he's kind of disturbing. Yeah, he doesn't get it. So, yeah, anyway, he thinks I'm crashing out. So I said, crashing out means I want my wife to be treated with respect. There's no way I could justify or defend your insulting cat.
Dude,
for no...
you had him on for months when he was making fun of your dumb fucking wife for months. And it took you until everyone was yelling at you about it for you to start to respect your wife. Was it respecting your wife when you lied about her health condition to PPP or use her as an excuse? Is that respecting your wife? Like, you can't really, like, brag about that when you openly admitted, even in this fucking stream, you took a negative truth about her fucking health and use it as an excuse in this fucking conversation. That doesn't make you look good at all. So not only does PPP not respect your wife, but you don't either. And everyone knew you didn't. You don't give a fuck. All you care about what Kat does is just to be a tool to brag about. Oh, I have a wife. Like, he hyped her up literally day one on Fight. Guys, second income. Guys, she loves cleaning. Guys, she's gonna cook. I can't cook. I'm streaming. Oh, is that fucking respecting your wife? And every time he talks about her, he makes her sound like a fucking helpless idiot. Is that respecting your wife?
For no reason, even if it's getting a rise out of your audience, right? You've apologized to me for it, so either you know it's wrong or you've been disingenuous, right? I advise taking some time off. You're kind of seething and lashing out in all directions.
Wait.
For it, so either
It's just the entirety of what your stream is today, man.
you know it's wrong or you've been disingenuous, right? I advise taking some time off. You're kind of seething and lashing out in all directions. You'll just never understand that you don't have to respond to everything and see. I said, I don't even know what you're talking about. All right. Then I looked at his Twitter, and this was on his Twitter. It's a fact. I'm not sure why there's so much hostility surrounding observing reality. So basically saying it's okay to insult your wife. It's just okay to.
This was a thing I kind of like clapped for because DSP was defending using a slur with that same logic. A slur, which is like far more offensive than saying someone is fat. Just out of sheer comparison. Again, I understand why people want to use the slur, and I'm not gonna police what you're saying. But at the end of the day, one's a slur, one isn't. At the end of the day, and it's up to everyone, right? People can be offended by whatever. People can be offended by being called fat. People can be offended by a slur or whatever. I mean, it's person to person. But like, DSP was defending using a slur, which sheer comparison with fat, a slur is far more offensive. People calling people fat, that's like an insult that people have said literally on playgrounds, more so than the R slur. I've never heard growing up people using the R slur like that frequently, only up into like high school. But when you're in high school, you're a fucking teenager. You're a teenager. Come on. Like, come on. And this is like, oh, it's okay. Like, let's hear how he.
I know what you're talking about. All right. Then I looked at his Twitter, and this was on his Twitter. It's a fact. I'm not sure why there's so much hostility surrounding observing reality. So basically saying it's okay to insult your wife. It's just okay to insult your wife.
But he's stating an observational fact. And this is the same weasel words DSP fucking says about every single thing he shits on other people for. I'm not shitting on, I'm just stating a fact. You might be stupid. But then when like he's thrown the same excuse, look how he reacts. He's so not aware of at all how he sounds when he's talking, and he's sitting there like, well, why would they say this? Huh? Like, man, why do people hate this guy? I don't get it.
Okay?
Okay?
Fine. I can just do whatever I want. I can just insult your wife as much as I want. All right?
He gave his own medicine, can't handle it.
So I say, here's the thing.
Way
back, a month before, when I had done the podcast, or the show, the interview with Steve, I was told both by PPP and Steve, because you did that and you took a giant beating, and now Steve took all this money from your dumb detractors who are so stupid that they throw money at Steve, okay?
Okay.
We're now going to say we owe you a favor. So whatever you need, moving forward, you need that favor. You'll find that.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh man, let's hear that again.
Now, Steve took all this money from your dumb detractors who are so stupid that they throw money at Steve, okay? We're now going to say we owe you a favor. So whatever you need, moving forward, you need that favor. You'll find that in the logs, okay? Because I'm going to put them out there. You're going to see it, all right?
He could argue easily. By the way, the favor was doing Smart Guys. Yeah, I did you a favor by doing Smart Guys.
Well,
we're continuing Smart Guys.
Here we are, and I say, you know what you could have done? You could have just said that you owed me a favor. All right?
He did.
That's all you had to say. and that because of that, you're not going to insult Kat anymore because you owe me a big favor, right? And I said, right here, I hope it's not here. People in my kick chat are saying you've insulted Kat again. This was the last Wednesday, so their second show of the week. I really hope that's not true. I'm going to go to sleep. I feel like shit after this week of stuff. I'm sure I'll be bombarded with clips in the morning if this is true.
What?
I wake up in the morning, and here's what I have. I owe you nothing, you fucking F word. And it'll
Oh,
be a
you
cold
can't
day
say
in hell
that,
before I'm
okay.
scared of you. Why don't you bring me on tonight and see how it goes? You really wanted to flex nuts. Morning,
You can't say hell.
and here's what I have. I owe you nothing, you fucking F word. And it'll be a cold day in hell before I'm scared of
Okay.
you. Why don't you bring me on tonight and see how it goes? You really wanted to flex nuts. I'm so sick of your shit.
I thought PPP was scared and hurrying to his Twitter, and he's afraid and he's terrified. But his own fucking DM says, "Yeah, bring me on. Yeah, do you think you're a hot shit? Bring me on, bitch." Like that's all that said. He's like, "Oh, look at this guy." Okay.
Through everything I did in my face yesterday with the third path lazy bullshit, you have no gratitude for anything. The whole big
Oof.
dog routine, and you're thinking you're gonna break me and run the yard. I will fucking show you whose yard it is.
But guess what? Guess what, guys? This whole thing is on the crux of I'm the king snake. That's what this is all operating under. So he did have this big dog in the yard act, when we all know he'd be the one dropping the soap.
You escalated this, and I want a scorched earth drama campaign. I can give you that in spades. Okay? I have no idea what he's talking about. Literally, I did one podcast where I talked about I have 3.
Wait, what?
It is. You escalated this, and I want a scorched earth drama campaign. I can give you that in spades. Okay?
Ooh, scorched
I have no
earth.
idea what he's talking about. Literally, I did one podcast where I talked about I have 3 paths. And the next podcast, I said, if this guy insults my wife again, I'm breaking ties and I'm not making content with him anymore. Because
He opened. Oh my god! As I said, right? Go back. Literally, PB said, "No hard feelings. We can cut ties." All DSP yet again. Again, this is DSP kind of like taking the gun and shooting himself in the foot. Like you're gonna shoot him in the foot, but he's like, no, man, give me the gun. Why? Like he couldn't just say, all right, man. Like it was nice working with you. Like, bye. That's all. That is all he had to say. But no, we had a whole other page where they were arguing about like, oh, favor. Well, you insulted my wife, okay, and that's fucked up. And he's like, well, like all this other shit. Then he like, oh my god, let's just go back. Fuck this. Let's go back. I can't get over this.
way not sure why in all directions. Now, so I said,
Look. Oh my god. Was it before this? I kind of forgot. No, it was
ties with
after
this
this.
ties, and we're all good. All right.
Let's see. Okay, yeah, see. Here it says, it makes sense. Let's see. I'm wired. I'm told. Oh my god. Okay, but anyways, he says like that. I think he'll do well no matter what, right?
All right. So I said that's pretty much what I thought you were gonna say. I have thick skin. I get it.
I have thick skin.
Now people
Okay.
are 100% thinking that you're using me. I don't know what we're gonna do moving forward. Basically, we need boundaries.
see how weird this is? And again, this is DSP being the king snake. Remember, guys, he was orchestrating this whole thing. He was lying to PvP and this that. Like, let's make boundaries. People are gonna think you're using me, guys. Okay, let's make boundaries. So he was gonna say that, but in the back of his it says allegedly, DSP was being the king snake. But he wanted, this doesn't make any, this makes, the deeper you go, the less sense it makes, and it's, really, and it really just shows that sometimes DSP needs to shut up. It really is like you're watching a show, and it's like, these two people are gonna, kill each other, arguing and this, that, and they finally make up, and yes, don't fuck it up, don't say something bad again, yes, and then, that one guy says one little sentence, that sets them all the way back to the beginning, and they're back at hating each other. You're like, why? Why would you do that? That's what this is. PB gave him the most easy out. He literally gave him on a silver platter. Here's your way out. And DSP, being DSP, took it and was like, wait a minute. I can't just leave with a sentence. I need to really talk about the boundaries, which is really weird, right? Let's see. I happen to like that there's different ways to interpret what's going on, and that it's not very straightforward. I think it gets people interested, it leads to excitement, and there's curveballs. And ebbs and flows to the story or things that don't make sense. I think you have your own way of doing things, and I have my way of doing things. I'm not sure if it works together all the time, but I feel there are certain benefits to both sides of it. I'm doing whatever, to be honest. Trying to deal with and figure out the vortex stuff. Oh wow, that's weird. That's how we learned about the word vortex. And the best capitalize on it takes a lot of energy and is mentally taxing. Honestly, I see that you're crashing out today, man. Good luck with that. Okay, I think the time date underneath it is for that current one, right? So that was the same day, 9 minutes later. Then it says well, crashing out means I want my wife to be treated with respect, but PvP was saying the crashing out was the 3-path bullshit, right? That's what he was calling crashing out, not the respecting his own, that wasn't even irrelevant to what even DSP was saying, which is really funny coming from DSP, right? And then DSP, crashing out is respect, but that's not what PvP was calling a crash out. He was saying you sticking with content that is milk toast and getting you nowhere. That's what's crashing out. Is doubling down on that and not doing anything different or anything. That's crashing out. Not Cat. That was not even relevant to the conversation. So he forced her back into relevancy, which is why would you do that? But because again, and then PD says that it's just the entirety of what your stream is today, man. This is what's insane about DSP. You can't really argue with him. This is why that Rich thing that Rich was doing, I was invested because he can't argue at all anything. The more you press, the more because he's so easy to be riled up because he knows what he's doing sometimes, and he knows what he's doing is wrong. It's really when you catch a kid doing what they're not supposed to do, and they're no, I'm doing it right. Fuck you.
And he says, I happen to like that there's different ways to interpret what's going on, and there's not very straightforward. I think people get invested. I see that you're crashing out. Now, this was the next day's podcast. This was the podcast I did last week where I said I have 3 options. Option 1 is being a sellout. Option 2 is being a massive drama queen villain for the internet like PPP wants me to be. Or number 3 is to go the third route and go straight down the middle. All right? He thinks that's crashing out because I don't want to do path 2.
Yeah, because he gave you an audience and you're not even using the audience in creative ways and they're going to eventually leave. I mean, everyone's saying that he should have done drama, and I don't think he should have, personally, but whatever, it could go either way. I just think at the end of the day, the issue that's going on with DSP's content is that there's nothing creative going on. It's the same kind of content you've seen for years. Like, everyone is lapping Phil in any category. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be gossip or drama about other content creators or anything like that. Like, he could talk about like what's going on in the FGC. He could talk about what's going on in all this stuff, but he is just incapable of really doing that because he's so beholden to how other people talk in his chat and how he's like seen. That's why he can't realistically do drama content because he'd be too preoccupied with how he's being seen in that genre. Like it just will not work out for him because I think like drama content there is a lot of volatility in the sense that you never truly know who you're gonna talk about and the extent that those people may go with it, right? Like, and DSP is DSP. He can't really read a room very well. So I don't. I think. I mean, as an outsider, it'd be funny to see him navigate that, sure, but uh, he just shouldn't. You know, for obvious reasons.
Little does he know that all along, this whole thing has been a setup. I've lied to him for 8 straight months about all this shit. I'm only going along for the ride because essentially I wanted to get more views and money and give myself a boost. I don't really like him. I think he's kind of disturbing.
How's he disturbing?
Yeah, he doesn't get it. So
I find him disturbing.
yeah, anyway, he thinks I'm crashing out. So I said,
why would he think he's disturbing, by the way? Like, did he find out any other information about PPP that he would find disturbing, or is he basing that solely because he's fat, right? I feel like he's basing that on the fact that he's fat, and then he also invited DSP to go on like a trip with him. That I think he finds disturbing.
I said, crashing out means I want my wife to be treated with respect.
And he also like perceived him as gay, and you know that could be disturbing for him because he's homophobic. So it makes sense.
Justify or defend your insulting cat for no reason, even if it's getting a rise out of your audience, right? You've apologized to me for it, so either you know it's wrong or you've been disingenuous, right?
Again, PB doubled down and just telling him it's just about your stream. I'm not talking about cat right now. I'm talking about your stream. That's the crashing out. Like, it's so obvious that DSP had a problem with him making fun of his wife, but he just couldn't tell him to his face, and he was trying to lead PPP on to start shit so that way he could bring it up. But since PPP was just telling him, hey, your stream was a crash out, he forcibly made her part of the conversation. Like, how else do you read that?
I advise taking some time off. You're kind of seething and lashing out in all directions. You'll just never understand that you don't have to respond to everything and see.
Exactly. How else is it not him seething in all directions? PB was specifically talking about the streaming. He comes back with, why are you making fun of my wife? That's crashing out, and it's like, we're not talking about that, Phil.
I said, I don't even know what you're talking about. All right. Then I looked at his Twitter, and this was on his Twitter. It's a fact. I'm not sure why there's so much hostility surrounding observing reality. So basically saying it's okay to insult your wife. It's just okay to insult.
He had that in his back pocket. He wanted to bring that up. But again, he brought it up. PPP was talking about his fucking streams. And he's like, oh, I don't know. I have no idea what you're talking about. What are you talking about? But how does it look, right? PPP is talking about his stream. Your stream is a crash out with a 3-path laziness bullshit. And then he comes back with, like, talking about cat. Like, how does that not look like he's all over the place?
Insult your wife. Okay? It's fine. I can just do whatever I want. I can just insult your wife as much as I want. All right? Okay? So I say, here's the thing. Way back, a month before, when I had done the podcast, or the show, the interview with Steve, I was told both by PPP and Steve, because you did that and you took a giant beating, And now Steve took all this money from your dumb detractors who are so stupid that they throw money at Steve, okay? We're now going to say we owe you a favor. So whatever you need moving forward, you need that favor. You'll find that in the logs, okay? Because I'm going to put them out there. You're going to see it, all right?
All right.
Well, here we are. And I say, you know what you could have done? You could have just said that you owed me a favor, all right?
What?
That's all you had to say. And that because of that, you're not going to insult Kat anymore because you owe me a big favor, right? And I said,
But PPP put it on him to bring that up, right? PPP said, "I go, okay, I owe you a favor." In these DMs, I mean, DSP did, like, he said, "Well, you owe me a big favor. You could have done this with like Kat," but like he didn't say that in the first place. Like, hey, like he could have said, "Hey, can you do me a favor? Like, not make fun of my wife. Like, can you do me a favor and just not bring her up, like, at all." And he didn't even say that. So at this point, like, you're PPP, right? And you're having this argument with DSP. And then DSP, during this argument, brings up, "Well, you owe me a favor." You think you're gonna do it? No. If he said way before, "Hey, you owe me a big favor. Can you, like, not... big favor. Can you owe me a favor and, like, not bring up Kat?" That's one thing. But this dude literally did not say anything at all until now. And then he's like, "Well, you owe me a favor." At this point, DSP, I don't think PB is gonna be willing to do you any favors. I mean, and again, you just know, you fucking know, right? If the roles were reversed and PB was like, "Just you owe me a favor," you think I'm gonna do you a favor after you piss me off? Eat shit, PPP. Duh. I'm the king snake. Like, fuck no. But since DSP has that favor, he thinks he can just cash it in after this whole argument. Oh, man.
right here. I hope it's not here. People in my kick chat are saying you've insulted Kat again. This was the last Wednesday, so their second show of the week. I really hope that's not true. I'm going to go to sleep. I feel like shit after this week of stuff. I'm sure I'll be bombarded with clips in the morning if this is true. I wake up in the morning, and here's what I have. I owe you nothing, you fucking F word. And it'll be a cold day in hell before I'm scared of you. Why don't you bring me on tonight and see how it goes? You really wanted to flex nuts. I'm so sick of your shit. You threw everything I did in my face yesterday with the third path lazy bullshit. You have no gratitude for anything. The whole big dog routine, and you're thinking you're going to break me and run the yard? I will fucking show you whose yard it is. You escalated this, and I want to...
Look, oh my god, dude. I'm tempted to rewind again. But PvP offered him that to just, like, go their separate ways, amicably. And DSP could not bring himself. He could not bring himself to say, "Alright, PvP, thank you for all you've done. It was a great time collabing with you, and, have a good day." He could not bring himself to say that. At all. And he does this.
Want a scorched earth drama campaign, I can give you that in spades. Okay? I have no idea what he's talking about. Literally, I did one podcast where I talked about I have 3 paths. And the next podcast, I said, if this guy insults my wife again, I'm breaking ties and I'm not making content with him anymore because I don't have to continue to do smart guys if this guy's going to insult my wife. I said it's all right if he goes ahead and insults me, but he's not allowed to insult my wife. That's all I said. All of a sudden, I'm the big dog who's thinking he's going to break him and run the yard. What is he talking about? So I said, there's no drama.
Dude. Oh my god.
What is he talking about?
Oh my god.
I said it's all right if he goes ahead and insults me. But again, I'm breaking ties and I'm not making content with him anymore. Because I did one podcast where I talked about I have 3 paths. And the next podcast, I said, if this guy insults my wife again, I'm breaking ties and I'm not making content with him anymore because I don't have to continue to do smart guys if this guy's going to insult my wife. I said it's all right if he goes ahead and insults me, but he's not allowed to insult my wife. That's all I said. All of a sudden, I'm the big dog who's thinking he's going to break him and run the yard.
He mentioned that after you said he was scaredly hurrying to post on Twitter. And that's like a constant attitude with him. DSP always acts like this. This is like nonsense. He does that to Rich all the time. He did that to Rich in this very stream. He did that with Craig. He did that with everyone. And he's like, I don't know where this is coming from, man. And again, like, he's ignoring the escalation in the fucking conversation. PB just said that his 3-path bullshit is just crashing out by picking the fucking status quo. DSP brings up his wife out of nowhere, just out of the blue. PB even mentions that, like, oh, you're just seething in all directions. And then he's like, well, you talk about this, man. What the fuck, man? And he's like, like, what do you think that is? And then he brings up a favor. Like, maybe you should have done that before, right?
What is he talking about? So I said, there's no drama. If you scorch the earth, you're just doing it to make yourself feel better. You're talking to yourself because I have nothing to say in response. As you said before, it's all the same shit over and over. The same detractor shit is all they're going to say. Okay? I have nothing else to say. On my end, it's done.
Yeah, it's going to be the same shit. DSP lied about his wife's health condition or used his wife to get out of things. That's my favorite detractor, me personally. I love that one. Every time he can't do something, it's because he uses his wife as an excuse. I love that one. Making up animals to kill off to get out of certain things. Just not being honest. The best detractor meme that never like gets old, right?
100% you're doing, not mine. All you have to do is be reasonable and have respect.
And I want everyone to remember, he wants us to believe that we can trust him now since he came clean on WWE Champions. But all of this is proving is that he's still lying. And he's saying, well, they're all going to say I lie anyway, so I might as well keep lying. But I thought you wanted us to believe you now. So if that's the logic I guarantee that's the logic you'd use. You're going to say I'm going to lie anyway, so I might as well lie. But if you want us to believe you, why not just be honest, right? Okay.
You couldn't do it. I think that's sad. Smart Guys was great. What we did together was great, but you can't control yourself, all right? And this is it. This is where I was going to cut it off. This was literally going to be the last time.
Big dog energy. Sad you can't control yourself, man. Like, that's what he wanted. He can't have PB have the last word. He has to have the last word. Like, dude, PB said we could cut ties. Like, he literally did. He gave him a positive way to leave. Like, immediately. And he couldn't help himself. And at this point, like, PB, like, after he saw, I guarantee when PB saw what he was responding with, he was like, okay, fuck this. I'm just gonna, like, piss him off and just say shit. Because, what do you say? You give someone a nice send-off, and he doesn't return the favor. He doesn't return the positive send-off, and he keeps going back. Like, he immediately brought up his wife after that. He could not help himself.
Time I ever had any interaction with them, I was just going to go on and do absolutely nothing to do with them whatsoever. I wasn't going to snake them publicly. I wasn't going to do this show today at all. The whole idea of this show was that I have to respond because these guys are literally just going to keep doing stuff no matter what. So I have to at least do something. And if anything, if the one thing is that I drop the logs, so therefore they can't make shit up and spin the logs in a way that they're not, or say, hey, look.
What is this, though? Like, this is projection. He's literally doing what he's accusing them of what they're gonna do. He's spinning these DMs as if he had the upper hand the whole time, which he didn't. Again, PPP gave him a nice way to back off, to, like, leave. And he couldn't help himself, and he continued to dig his grave. Literally digging a hole. He really lied for no reason. He did the Truth Seeker show for no reason. Again, he got nothing out of this LARP, like at all. Like this is the thing why some people tell people do not troll tip DSP because you're gonna just lose money and you may look dumb in doing so. Very rarely do people like troll tip and get gold dust. Very rarely, and it's like yeah, just don't do it. It's not worth it. It's not worth the gamble. That's DSP. He's that guy that is doing this in the hope that he can like get over, but he did it. He took it too far because honestly, the only thing I'll give him is that he just wanted to milk and grift off of the clout of Kino Casino, and then that's all he wanted from it. That is it. I believe that's what he was doing because he does that with everything. But to say that he was having this 40 chess move of like, oh, I'm gonna get this up. Like, what did he get from these DMs? Nothing. And then they say, oh, I'm leaking it because I don't want like PB to like spin these DMs into something that they're not. But you're literally trying to push a narrative that you were trying to be a 40 chess master, but you didn't want to show the DMs, and you want to leave this quietly. But it shows in these DMs that's not what DSP wanted to do. Because if he wanted to leave quietly, then why continue to belabor the point that he didn't like what PPP was saying about his wife? That's not what was going on in the DMs. He was saying this on stream. Like, he could have said in his DMs at any point, like, hey, it's kind of fucked up that you were making fun of my wife, and I don't appreciate that. But the way he said it was irrelevant. He was talking about crashing out in his three-way plan, and he shoehorned Cat into that argument for no reason. And he was like, "What are you talking about? Like, I'm talking about your fucking stream, man. This seems out of nowhere."
Hey, look, here's an edited log to protect us, but here's the part that makes Phil look bad or whatever. So right now I'm about to dump them so you guys can read them in their entirety.
Ironically, I think PPP said that these are not the full logs either. So that's fun.
All right, unedited. You can see them, all right? But here's his responses. His completely unhinged, insane, over the top, crazy responses. Get a fucking grip, Phil. This isn't about your wife or my comments. It's about you being a stubborn, lazy, stuck in your ways, word I can't say, who doesn't like getting confronted.
Oh, okay. So we can't say that slur, but we can say the R slur, though. We can say that slur. That slur is fine. Okay, I'm glad he knows what words mean.
About your bullshit, you cry victim and throw pity parties to get out of being held accountable, even making the slightest effort out of your own comfort zone to do anything else because you're using this shit to try and have an out, and you can pretend that you're everyone else, blah, 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 blah. And he keeps going.
Oh, wow, he does not want to read this. He's doing the kind of voice. This is about your wife or my comments. This is about you being stubborn, lazy, stuck in your ways. Slur. I'm not gonna say slurs, guys, okay? Who doesn't like getting confronted about your bullshit, so you cry victim and throw pity parties to get out of being held accountable, or even making us a slightest effort to get out of your comfort zone and do anything else. You are using this shit to try and have an out. You can pretend you're above everyone and everything, but you're not, Phil. Again, I'm just sitting there thinking, okay, so PPP said, okay, we could cut ties. That's what he said. If DZ said, okay, yeah, man, like, later, and that's it, what would happen, right? What would happen? Is, like, because at some point, like, would PPP try to, like, poke and prod Phil to get this? Because at that point, DSP could say, well, look, guys, he's trying to piss me off. But literally, he went on to say we gotta make boundaries, which is like already a weird thing to tell another dude. Then after that, continues to interact with this guy. Come on. He gave PB this on a platter because again, he was talking about the fucking 3 ways that he was offering, and then DSP shoehorned his wife, which was irrelevant to PvP's point. And that's what he was addressing. That's why he said, like, it has nothing to do with with your wife or my comments. It's just your stubborn ways of how you make content. That's what he called out. You have no respect because you flush opportunity after opportunity down the toilet and expect another one to be handed to you. That is so true. Again, you can see that in these fucking logs. Every time that PB would come back with an idea, DSP never, like, responded to it. He never threw his 2 cents. He only said yes or no. And I don't want to hurt people or whatever the fuck. He never once gave any creative input because this guy is not creative. He has no idea what he wants to do with his own fucking content, and he has no backbone for it. He just wants, and he says this every day, I just want to sit here and play games. But then he'll say, I want to diversify my content. Again, he said this throughout the Kino arc, and he has not shown what that even entails. But when other people give him ideas, he runs with it because that's all he can do. He recently said this idea about, I could do a retro show where I could talk about old shows, old PCs. Why the fuck would he talk about that? Oh god, remember the old iMacs? And all this shit, but guess what? These were not his ideas. They were his chat's ideas. Again, this guy has zero input on anything. The card packs, PPP's idea. The Davoom, PPP. Soundproof Boom, he had to be bullied into that. Everything about this guy is manufactured. This is everything he criticized other things of being. This music is manufactured. It's like the boy band is made in a factory. That's DSP. He's made in a factory. Everything about him was manufactured. The way he dresses is not even his own. He did it because LTG bullied him into doing this. There's nothing creative that came from DSP. Everything he did was off of someone else. That's why DP's been calling him a skinwalker. The way he begs, the fucking goals, all this stuff, other people's ideas. There's nothing creative. That's why he's stuck in his ways, because he knows his dumb fuck chat is gonna carry him to another idea. Because this guy has no input, no thought in his fucking brain at all. All his fans are wasting their energy on this fucking guy. And all of these people that want to do one road or another road or whatever the fuck is just wasting their effort. Because this guy is a fucking leech. He's a fucking parasite. He's garbage.
You have no respect. You flush every opportunity. You show me in my efforts zero respect. Just trying to extend my respect to you. You know my tweets are right.
Okay, hold on. You show me and my efforts zero respect. So why should I extend any respect to you? Exactly. Again, DSP has done nothing, absolutely nothing to subvert anything. Because everyone knew before this that all DSP does is take and take and take and take and take. You did not need PvP to do this to get to that conclusion. He did this and then realized that's all he did. And he admitted he did that. Literally. This is such a terrible stream. This video will probably be another 5-hour video. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think this video is going to be 4 hours. This is going to be 5 hours, maybe 6. But this dude literally sat there and just admitted he only was in bed with these guys to just use them for clout. Which is what PvP said he did. By saying he takes. He shows no respect because all he did was say yes. No. He lied to them. And he's saying these things, I didn't respect them. Oh, how dare. Bitch, you said you lied. You willingly lied to them. That's showing respect? This dude is insane. If DSP, was honest and genuine and was actually working as PB was lying and gaslighting him, DSP could actually argue PPP did not respect him. But that can't be true. DSP has handed this stream to PB on a golden platter because before it would have just been, oh, PB bullied beat DSP. Oh, he's exposing DMs. Oh man, poor DSP. Like, in a way, PB was gonna make him a victim, and whatever, because he knew he was gonna like rant about this anyway. So he was in a win-win position because no one gives a fuck about this guy. And honestly, like, it's still not good. Even before this, before DSP admitted he lied, people were already saying it was fucked up that DSP used his wife as an excuse to get out of things before all of this. To talk to a guy, like, randomly to trauma dump. Like, that's what was the innate reaction to this. But now that he's saying, oh, I lied, I used this to get out of things, he looks worse. And now people can sit there and be like, see how dumb this guy, yeah, I lied, but look what he lied about. Like, he really just kind of like, he saw PB, like, throwing gasoline on his house, and DSP joined in throwing gasoline on his house. Like, and he thinks he's owning the situation. Like, in any world, like, you could argue, yeah, showing DMs is a way to get ahead of the situation, but at the same time, it really depends on what you're showing and how you describe it. And this did not do him any favors. How do you do this and, like, fuck it up this badly? It's beyond me.
Right. By the way, why don't you respond to them? You're a coward. You have been your entire life. You can hide in your hug box, but one day there won't be anyone. He's talking to himself.
Oh wait, let's see the last part. You know my tweets are right, by the way, and that's why you won't respond to them, because you're a coward. As you have been your entire life. You can hide in your hug box, but one day there won't be anyone who gives a shit left because you are boring. You're a boring fucking egg. I'm gonna argue that point, PPP, and just say there's enough dumb people on the planet that will gladly slurp on DSP's boring content. Like, there are literally people who DSP said that they're terrible and they're stupid and they're garbage that will still come back and give DSP money. Kevin Bernstein got fucking bullied by a whale and DSP together. They both bullied Kevin Bernstein, who did nothing wrong, by the way. Like, honestly, if you look at what Kevin Bernstein was posting, I don't think he did anything mega wrong other than give DSP money. That was the only thing he did wrong. But he gave DSP money. OIC threatened to dox Kevin, and DSP told Kevin to shut up. And Kevin still hangs around, probably. Maybe he's not anymore. I've not seen him for years. But there are countless people who DSP has shat on that still comes around and gets shit on. These people are all fucked up. Darziak, DSP is his fetish. DSP has all the fetishes of Darziak. So Darziak is there to get off. One hand is modded, one hand is beating it, baby. Like, that's DSP's community. Like, DSP has cultivated a community of people who have no backbone and have no critical thought and are all people willing to get shit on and to get attention. That's his community. They don't care about the content. They just care about DSP acknowledging them and dancing for them. Because they save the stream. They've given him money to go eat fast food. They get to see DSP say thank you. They get to see that. Like, dude, look at OIC and the shit he does. It's so bizarre. OIC was chasing numbers on Twitch. I gotta get 500 gifted subs. I gotta get 1,000. And he'd come back with, like, different names. It's so much to the point where people think all these weird whales that show up are all OIC, because OIC has tainted the well of usernames in all reality. These people could fundamentally be different people, but OIC has changed their name multiple times that it all tainted the well to the point where it's just funny to say it's OIC to have DSP freak out sometimes. Like, it's to the point where nobody cares because he finds new whales anyway. And that's who he's beholden to. To these dregs of society. These rejects. These lonely people. That just want attention. And they have no self-awareness just as much as DSP has no self-awareness as to how they act in some people's chats sometimes. Come on.
I'm not reading it. I'm not paying any attention. This is like your ex-girlfriend says it's okay to break up with her if you're not okay with her abusing you. And you're like, all right, I break up with you. And then she freaks out and goes crazy.
I love that it's always the girl, right? In DSP stories, it's always the crazy girlfriend or whatever. But DSP is has shown he's more crazy than these stories are. Like, it's insane, man.
And is stalking you and is going to all your friends and relatives and the public talking shit about you and saying awful things. I'm going to reveal this personal thing about you and this personal thing. How dare you break up with me? How could you break up with me? You can't break up with me.
Just remember, PPP, like a few pages ago, said it's okay to break ties. I understand. I think you'll do fine either way. And DSP kept going and talking with this guy with open-ended conversations like we gotta set boundaries and this and that, and then coming back and saying about his wife, even though he could have just left it. But PB was talking about him crashing out in the three road path, and he forced to talk about his wife. Like, look at the sheer comparison. Because he knew he was making fun of her wife way before the crash out thing. And he just happened to suddenly decide, okay, now I'm a little mad about that. Okay.
With me, I break up with you and I'm not done with you yet. So how could you? That's exactly what it is. So now it makes sense. Him offering to fly me to Florida and then acting like this when I said, I just don't want to do any more content with you. Okay. And he gave me permission to break it off. Just a few logs ago, he said, I understand if this is your decision that you don't want to do content with me anymore. Go ahead. So I said, okay, I made my decision. How dare you? How could you?
But look at how you responded to it. You didn't just say, okay, though. You didn't say that. You responded with a paragraph. He responded with a paragraph. He literally did not say, okay.
Break up with me. I can't believe it. Oh, and he's still going. Look, he's still going. We're not done yet.
And he's ignoring that DSP has contributed to the conversation. Like, of course, PP's gonna respond to the things he's saying, right? Because it's a conversation. Like how like he's so dumbfounded when people can just respond.
No, my tweets are right. I didn't read his tweets. I'm not sitting.
He literally like quote tweeted his tweet, but whatever. Okay.
On his Twitter, reading his tweets. I don't give a fuck what he tweets. Right? He's still going.
He talked about his.
Here's what I'll say to you in the end, because this is later. This is days later. I don't want to have to do what I'm doing, because this is after the first show on Friday where he had talked shit and exposed secrets about my life. It doesn't feel good to dump all this on you, but you've endlessly escalated the situation. When did I endlessly escalate the situation? All I did was say, you're insulting my wife. I don't want to do combat with or content with you anymore. We're done. That was it.
But when he said he was done, it was way after. Like, I mean, this is so dumb.
You've been incredibly petty and disrespectful. It never happened. I genuinely want you to apologize for wasting my efforts and let everyone know that it's the case. So let me get this straight. And he says, if you do that, I will drop the entire thing and move on. This is the guy who literally apologized for insulting me and my wife, but then did it again anyway. I called him out on it, and he said, I can't really control myself, but I understand if you don't want to do content anymore. It's okay. I tell him I don't want to do content anymore. And now he says, I need to publicly apologize for wasting his efforts. You told me to break it off if I wasn't.
But this is like, this is completely different though. This is not like, he said, okay, I understand, whatever. But you kept going to the point where he's like, okay, fuck this guy. You're not really respectful with what I've been doing. Like, and you see that in the DMs. The reason why DSP cut off because he just didn't want to do drama con, didn't want to stay on his third path. That's all he said. He could have left it at that. He says that's crashing out, and he thinks that's lazy. Like, oh my god, I may have to go back. This is why it's gonna be a 10-hour video, guys. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry.
3 is to go the third route and go straight down the. There's if you keep doing the bad thing. So at this point, I know that his apologies don't mean anything either. So what does he say? I want him to get clear. If you do want to cut ties, I completely understand, and I think that you'll do well no matter what.
So let's see. Let's be real, and I accept your answer no matter what it is. I promise I won't be angry. You know. Okay, let's just go back a little bit more. I gotta know the beginning of this.
But then he's sneak dissing me and my wife there, and then he's doing
Okay.
it on Smart Guys, right?
All right. So this
So he
is
says, let's take it back to the
about
basics
Smart
of
Guys.
wrestling.
All right. Okay.
Okay? This is the rabbit conversation, which you guys are going to find.
Oh, yeah,
Which is
but
all bullshit.
he
I
said that
needed
to
to
get out
relay
of
Smart
it.
Guys. I didn't want to do it that night, so I just made something up, but he believes
Yeah,
it.
he can't just say I don't want to do it. He just had to lie and say, "Oh, yeah, my rabbit exploded, guys." So
'Cause
cool.
he's, gullible.
He's gullible. Okay.
Now,
But if he was lying, right? Then is he lying that he was offended by him making fun of his wife? You realize that's what this is kind of painting, right? So let's see. Listen, fuck them. I know the routine. I honestly. Let's see. Lucid drinks. It'll get better. I'm very worried about you. That you fail to take care of yourself. Get high.
here we go.
So FYI, trolls went crazy hard on my stream today, bombarding me with messages saying that you called me a lazy piece of shit on the casino last night. You called my wife fat and more. I ignored it, but FYI, that's apparently their narrative now. So this is him calling PPP out for saying this. He can't even say. I mean, I guess he doesn't want PP to say. So you see that Phil says he's busy, yet he was able to watch my stream and notice I called him a piece of shit. This is that funny. Even though already people were already saying that he's not really spending his time after stream, with his wife. Correct? I mean, that was already kind of a statement. But it's kind of like bitch made to just be like, so apparently these trolls are saying this. I didn't care. I ignored it. But that's their narrative now. He's not even asking for an apology in this. I just realized he's not even asking for an apology. He's just telling them, yeah, they're saying they said this to you. So he's already having a seed of doubt of saying that I don't think he said this. Like, that's what he's saying. He's not even being forthcoming. This is so ridiculous. You know what this is? Oh my god. Oh my god. He's literally hooping. PvP like, yeah, I never said that, Phil. They're lying. They're like, okay, so what's this clip? Explain this clip, PvP. Like, that's what he wanted. That's what he wanted to do. And this is how PvP responds. Listen, fuck them. And I'm sorry I was doing that routine, man. He did apologize. I honestly think you should take a few days to recuperate. Maybe some stiff drinks and watch some shows with your wife. Everyone can see you're having a very tough time right now. I feel very bad. It's affecting that way, and I am going to lay off with the smart ass stuff. Okay, just try to rest up, man. Things will get better. I am very worried about you. Maybe it's time to hit up Kush 21 and get some weed drinks or a joint or something.
This is last week, and this is when the crap all hit the fan. All right?
Right.
FYI,
Okay.
trolls went crazy hard on my stream today. Bombarded. I was doing that routine. I honestly think you should stuff. Try to rest up. Think here.
All right. Hey, Ashton, let's be real. And I accept your answer no matter what. He accepted the apology. Okay. No matter what it is. And I promise I won't be angry. You know what we've been going through here all week. Plus, the stuff with my man behind the scenes of all of that. I even told you I had issues with your making fun of Cat, and you did it anyway, publicly on your show. Why did you do that? I'm trying to understand, because I have both friend and foe alike telling me to completely sever ties with you, because you are not my friend, because you're not my friend, but just using me, I actually think you are my friend. But remember, guys, Jesus is using them, okay? But lack any kind of self-control when you get too worked up like smart guys last week. It would be tough for me to think you actually are thanking me with all you've done for me. But I've watched what you said, so I'm completely confused. So, so PPP said the same thing, right? Oh yeah, I get worked up, guys. Sorry. Sometimes I have a stiff drink and I do whatever. He's like, I know you do that, PPP. I get it, but like, I watch it and I'm confused. Uh, if it makes sense, if it makes sense, if I find something funny to say, I'm going to say it. I find what is taboo or boundary pushing to be very funny in a shocking way, and the way I'm wired. If I'm told not to do something, I have a voice telling me I should do it. It'll be funny. I don't really intend for 90% of what I say to be taken seriously, and I don't think it really hurts your business or anything tangible. I do feel bad you're going through such a hard time. I just like to push buttons and see what I can get away with. And I can very easily go too far. But if I worry too much about what I can and can't can't say, I can lose my flow when live. And when you're going so fast, it becomes very instinctual and crazy. The things you say to get. Our reaction in the audience eggs it on and wants more. Those reasons aside, I went too far this week and wasn't treating you like a friend. I guess you can say like a friend.
I accept your answer, but I told you I had issue with you making fun of Cat. You're using me, in a way.
Let's see, like a person and more like a content for a show, and it was too far because you were hurting and it was nasty of me. I'm very sorry for that, Phil. I also want to make it clear, if you do not want to cut ties. So this is before the third road bullshit, right? Like, this is him talking about smart guys saying, "Oh, as you're doing this and this and that," and he says, "Okay, I'm sorry, you want to cut ties? That's fine, right?" And all the ESP had to say was, "Okay,
All right. Content,
bye."
and I'm very do it anyway. Doing the bad thing. So at this point, I know that his apologies don't mean anything either. So what does he say?
Again, just remember, Jesus was looking for an out, and he totally did this on his own, and it wasn't like egged on by his audience to sever ties. He was looking for an out, right?
I want to make it clear, if you do want to cut ties,
I want to highlight that. Now that I said that out loud, he said he was looking for a way to get to break free from the casino. He wanted to end it amicably. Blah blah blah. He was looking for an out. He used his wife to get out of the casino. Again, using her as a prop. Was he even truly upset that what PB was saying? I mean, it kind of is muddled, right? I mean, I'm sure it pissed him off, to be fair, but it's just like he started this segment off saying, I was looking for an out.
Guys, I completely understand, and I think that you'll do well no matter what. It was at that moment that I decided I'm going to cut ties with this guy. All right?
Right.
He's apologizing, saying he's sorry for what he did, but basically he cannot control himself. Okay? So you can cut ties and we're all good.
All right.
So
what did DSP say?
I said that's pretty much what I thought you were going to.
I thought you were going to say, and I have it. I get it. The big alignment is people are now 100% thinking you are using me, and I'm just some ignorant idiot too dumb to see it. First, the Steve interview. Now, Real Phil going so far, and what you just said about me and your show. On your show, both my fans and detractors will keep asking me why I continue to work with someone who is seemingly abusive to me, and I'm not really sure how to answer. They obviously don't know, nor should they, that we've been very friendly behind the scenes. What? Oh, so we should not know that they've been friendly behind. Okay. Behind the scenes, planning the Steve thing, etc. So to them, it totally looks like you are snaking me for content, and I'm just a dumbass. I really like doing smart guys with you outside of Grill Phil, going too far last time, and I honestly think you're a good guy who just has major issues setting boundaries or limits when he gets worked up, as you said. Wow, he went from he to you. Okay. This kind of shit talking isn't going to hurt me or my image. Wait. Oh my god. This kind of shit talking isn't going to hurt me or my image, but it's sure as hell becoming confusing for the public watching after your show Monday. None of your fans who have watched and contributed to my streams showed up Tuesday. I wondered why, and then my trolls began bombarding me with clips of what you said. So yeah, this is all pretty confusing. So he wanted to end it amicably, and he couldn't help himself because he said, "Oh, he's oh my god, you know what? Okay, I'm not gonna say this is a master plan kind of thing. I don't think it's that. Don't get me wrong. But I think at this point, DSP was low-key just kind of highlighting the fact you don't want people to know we've been friendly behind the scenes, PPP. Like, kind of hinting, like, back off, or I have this information on you, man. Like, he thinks he has a W on this. That's the thing, because there's also instances where DSP will kind of like drop subtle hints that like, hey, don't do this or I'm gonna do it, like, that because why else, right, would he say they obviously don't know, nor should they, that we've been very friendly behind the scenes and we planned the Steve thing. So to them it looks like all this stuff just like is wrapped up in all this like and as I said, in a way it flies in the face of this being a master plan, because if this is part of your master plan, you're not gonna want to like you're not gonna want to do this, right? Because this just seems really weird. And again, he says, "All right, I understand, whatever." And then he doubles down. It's like, yeah, like again, it also shows that he wanted to highlight the fact that like, yeah, it's not gonna hurt me, but like he's more he's more concerned. Okay, oh my god, I'm like stammering at this point. I'm going all over the place. he is more concerned about the outlook of what his fans and trolls and viewers alike see this. They're like, he just talked about like, oh, I heard you were making fun of my wife and calling me a piece of shit, man. And like, oh, sorry, something I carried away. Yeah, okay, man, but like, you just get carried away sometimes. I can take it, but like, people can be very confused. When in that did you say, yeah, like, it's kind of like ridiculous. You like this was the time to bring up like, hey, it's ridiculous. Like you're talking about my wife, and I don't think that's right. And like everyone's seeing what you're doing, and it's kind of like in bad form. I and he didn't like he kind of did say I let it slide because I know you get worked up in shows and this and that. But that's kind of a very condescending thing to say and all this stuff, and yet he kind of does the same bit, and now it's crossing the line. Like that's kind of where it gets kind of muddled. Uh, but he could also argue like I let it slide this many times, but like at some point like I can't let it slide anymore, and that's why I do want to break it off. Whatever. He can never end stuff in a good way. He can never. He always has to say something snarky because he says that I know you can control yourself. Then he goes on to say that setting. They want a setting. Let's see. I honestly think you're a good guy. So guy who just has major issues setting boundaries or limits when he gets worked up. As you said, this kind of shit talking isn't going to hurt me. But yeah, like he just wants to set boundaries, but all right. And then he says, "I happen to like the street, like that. There's a different interpretation of what's going on. As a flow, I'm sure. Okay, so honestly, I see that you're correct. So let's see, doing what? So okay, jeez, what's going on? People invested in lead to excitement, the curveballs, ebbs and flows." To the story, the things that don't make sense. I think you have your own way of doing things like my own way. I'm not sure if it works together all the time, but I feel certain benefits both sides. I'm fine doing whatever, trying to deal with and figure out the vortex stuff to capitalize a lot of energy and mentally taxing. Honestly, I see you're crashing out today, man. Good luck with that. So let's see. This was. I guess this was like in the like right during his podcast or whatever the fuck, and he says that he's crashing out because of the three-way path.
What you're gonna say? I have thick skin. I get it.
But yeah,
Now
like PPP moved on from this point. Like you're reading this, and he kind of moved on too. Like DSP is focusing more on, in his own sent paragraph in his own little message. All he told PPP was that oh my god, what did he tell PPP? He basically just told PPP, look, dude. I know you get worked up, but the people are gonna be confused if we're friend or foe. Like it looks very weird. It looks like you're exploiting me. Like that's what he said. And PP's saying, well, we do different things. I do my thing, you do your thing. I get it. It is what is admittedly taxing. Then that's where the conversation was going. Then PP moved on to talking about how he's crashing out on his stream, and DSP thought that he's talking about his wife still. Like, again, this is just a misunderstanding. I would argue this is just a misunderstanding of events here. But PPP went out of his way to explain, no, I'm talking about your stream.
Now people are 100% thinking that people get invested. I see that you're crashing out. Now, this was the next day's podcast. This was the podcast I did last week where I said I have three options. Option one is being a sellout. Option two is being a massive drama queen villain for the internet like PPP wants me to be. Or number three is to go the third route and go straight down the middle. All right? He thinks that's crashing out.
And DSP knew that's what he was talking about, too. He just said, he thinks it's crashing out that I do this other path. So then why did he bring up Cat? He said, lol, if crashing out means I want my wife to be treated with respect, so be it, I guess. But he's talking about the third path. He even clarified that. So again, this was all after him saying like he wanted out, and he could have just said okay, but he had to bring up, you gotta set boundaries, man. You know, you gotta be careful, man. You know, you're saying so many crazy things, man. And then he's like, well, you know, it is what it is. We do our own different things. You know, like, I get it. You know, honestly, I think you're crashing out because of the podcast today. Okay, listen. Like, he's going into another argument with this. Like, that's what's going on here.
So I say, both by, we're now, well, right? It's not, he'll be bombarded with clips of the word of you. Right? All of a sudden, I was going to cut it. I wasn't going to. I have that.
I went over this. Like, I just want to make
I
sure I
have
knew
to do
what I
what
was
I'm
talking
doing, because this
about,
is after the
honestly.
first show on Friday where he had
Because I
talked
keep
shit
losing my
and
plot.
exposed secrets about my life.
But
It
like,
doesn't feel good to dump all this on you, but you've endlessly
whatever.
escalated the situation. When did I endlessly escalate the situation?
He escalated it by literally, like, taking a conversation. Like, PvP moved on. In the DMs, he moved on to talking about what he said on his podcast. Then DSP shoehorned his wife into the third path. He even knew that's what he was talking about. He doesn't like, are you talking about my third path? But I think he knows that in hindsight. I think at the time when he responded, he did not like realize that's what he was talking about, and then he realized, oh, he's talking about that, and then he doubled down on like the insulting thing, and then it was like, then he took offense to it, say, oh, well, you owe me a favor, and this and that. Like, these are like, at that point, like, these are like crashing out is doing this. He's like, I'm talking about this, like, it, you know, it just plays out like it's just a conversation, and he didn't even try to de-escalate. Like, he didn't say, oh, that's right. Okay, look, I may have disagreed with how you're talking about my wife, and I don't think that's like right. Like, I shouldn't have to tell these people how to talk, right? But it's like, he could have just said like, oh, that's what you mean. You're talking about you're talking about the podcast. Okay, I mean, I do want to make it clear. I don't think it was right that you were making fun of my wife, and you know, I understand that something get carried away, but I don't think that was right. But I do think that I'm right in saying that I should stay on this path, and I am grateful in what you did to me. It's just that I didn't like your ideas. But here's the problem. Here's the problem here, guys. He shot down every idea. How many ideas did he really realistically do that he wasn't like coerced in doing? The Moodar thing fell apart, and the Itsugadam fell apart on their own. Medicare like was also like sabotaged by them. Like they openly just did not want. They just didn't care. They just wanted to just make himself look like an idiot. Uh, uh, they got him to do Smart Guys. They got him to sit through Grill Phil. Like, they got him to do some of this stuff. But every other idea that they want him to do, he shot down. He said so himself. He would come up with excuses. I don't want to go to. I don't want to go to the bar with you, PvP. That's gay. I mean, I have a wife. Okay, I can't. She found God. Oh, I can't do this because of that. But he did this. He did the Truth Seekers, and then he just didn't want to do anything else after that. Like,
Situation. All I did was say, you're insulting my wife. I don't want to do combat with or content with you anymore. We're done. That was it. You've been incredibly petty and disrespectful. Never happened. I genuinely want you to apologize for wasting my efforts and let everyone know that it's the case. So let me get this straight. And he says, if you do that, I will drop the entire thing and move on. This is the guy who literally apologized for insulting me and my wife, but then did it again anyway. I called him.
But the thing is, DSP said in the DMs, I know you get carried away, man. And he didn't even, like, have any authority about it. He's like, oh, well, my trolls, apparently people are saying that you said this. And, like, you know, it's kind of weird. I know you get carried away. Like, you didn't really have, like, a very, like, stern approach to it. He was just like, I don't know, people are saying, like, really begging PPP to lie to him, basically. But he didn't, and he said, okay, like, I mean, I guess he did kind of lie, but whatever. He just openly just said, like, oh, I get carried away. He's like, okay, man, and then, like, he got into an argument about the third path. And that's what PPP was, like, demanding an apology over. It had nothing to do with Kat. And that's what he wanted an apology over, because he's like, okay, fine, you're gonna be this way. Look, we did this stuff with you for 8 months. And all we got you to do was show up on our stream, and you didn't want to do anything else. You didn't want to do anything further with Steve that we wanted to do. You kept, and him admitting he lied is pretty much saying, like, he came up with bullshit excuses not to do things that he wanted. He did not even, like, talk about the ideas. He gave nothing in return. Like, DSP put himself in a position that doesn't make him look favorable in any way.
Called him out on it, and he said, I can't really control myself, but I understand if you don't want to do content anymore. It's okay. I tell him I don't want to do content anymore. And now he says, I need to publicly apologize for wasting his efforts. You told me to break it off if I wasn't okay with the insults.
But that's not what he's talking about. He wants you to apologize for the wasted effort he did for those 8 months. It had nothing to do with the insults. This is a completely separate thing that was brought on because you're, like, doubling down on your third path and then roping in Kat. Like, he's using Kat as a shield in this. Because he knows he's disrespecting the effort that PPP gave him and the opportunity. Because that's what PPP's talking about. So instead of focusing on that part of the conversation, he's focusing on him insulting his wife, which is a very, very, very disingenuous angle to go after, to be on, right? Because he's not thinking, oh, I'm just, doing this. You know what I'm saying?
Why now do I have to publicly apologize? For what?
For what?
Are you insane? It really is like an obsessed girlfriend. It's insanity. I don't know why he sent me this. Because he knows I'm not going to do a public apology when I didn't do anything wrong. Okay? And then we're not even done. He does it again. Listen, there's still an opportunity to end things in an amicable fashion. Don't allow pride to stop you from making the decision that's best for you. And then for the record, he texted me again Monday and says, there's no need for you to ever contact me ever again. You made your decision and it's shameful. That was his last actual text that he ever sent me, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean,
okay.
Just think about how insane this is. The last thing I said to him was, there's no drama. You're just going to do the same shit everyone else does, all my detractors. I don't care, right? I'm going to ignore you and move on with my life. He sends me an insane amount of crazy, insulting messages, calling me the F word, demanding that I have to apologize when I didn't do anything.
I said this the moment PPP said he needed to apologize. The fastest way to piss him off is asking him to apologize. No matter what, he could actually factually be in the wrong, and if you even ask for an apology, that will piss him off. This dude cannot apologize. Oh my god, that emo combination of all of DSP and all these crowns, like, this is literally how petty DSP is. You ask him for an apology, and man, oh, and this dude says at the bottom, man, maybe telling PPP he should owe you a favor, it was a bad move. Oh my god, dude, this is, like, insane.
Right? I actually did what he asked me to do, break it off if I'm not okay with the abuse. But the best part about all of it is, folks,
but that's not what he wanted you to apologize for.
He
didn't ask for him to apologize for standing up for his wife. He's saying apologize for wasting our effort if you were just going to pick the third road anyway. And you know what? That is exactly what he did. That's like, let's take out smart guys. Let's say that DSP, that the whole thing with Kat never happened. And PPP was just a honest to God guy that was honestly just in it to help DSP out and wanted to do content with him. DSP literally was giving him bullshit lies. Lying. Lied about his rabbit. Lied about a rabbit to begin with. Lied about his wife. Lied about this. Lied about that. Again, he wants us to say he doesn't respect my wife, as this dude uses her as an excuse to not do things. First, I want to highlight that especially. Before he even breathed, oh, respecting my wife. Before he even said that, he used her as an excuse to not go on a trip or whatever the fuck. Use her as an excuse. But this dude will sit there like, I respect my wife, guys. How dare you say she's fat? But I'm gonna use her as a tool, for you and for my audience. Literally using her as a tool before we got to the last page. But again, he shot down all these, and he said that he did this just to milk them for attention and grift off of them and get their clout and this and that. That's why he cased them, because they'll let me in and I'll be able to get all his attention. And then he was gonna leave and break ties and this and that, which is openly admitting he had no intentions of actually working with them. Which, anyone who finds that out about the person they're working with, that they are only in it for themselves, is gonna say, hey, I worked hard on this and you're just taking me for granted. Apologize. Like, anyone would have said apologize for all those months. Like, as much as like PPP was doing it as a bit, and he was lying to DSP, it was kind of very straight, like, honest, in the sense that he was trying to get DSP to work with him and do all this other stuff. The thing at the end of the day is that DSP had no creative input, so he allowed himself to be seen as just cattle. Like, I don't know the agreement and all these other like dealings that Keem has done with Boogie and Wings, but to a certain point, everyone understood that, like, they agreed to be on Lolcow Live. They agreed to do it, and they want to do it. They want to do this show. They weren't like, I don't want to do Lolcow Live, and Keem had to like do this. I mean, he'd probably do it for some things, but it's obvious that there's definitely like a give and take to it. Meanwhile, you look at DSP, and it's just literally they had to like drag him around like cattle to do stuff. Like, because DSP was not offering any creative input on anything. He was not taking them seriously. It was so clear he was just using them for attention. So naturally, in any scope of anyone in the industry would reasonably say, hey, apologize for the wasted effort. I wasted 8 months trying to get you gigs and help you out, and you're doing nothing in return. Like, apologize for that. And he's like, why are you demanding an apology, man? You fucked my wife. You made fun of my wife. And it's like, that's not what he's arguing, or what he's demanding an apology for. It's so convenient. Like, of course he shoehorned Kat in with a third path so that he could say that, right? It's very disingenuous and disgusting, because again, it just makes it look like he's using his wife as a prop again.
Was never going to stay with him as a friend, as a co-worker, regardless. It was only temporary until eventually I feel like we were going to actually, do something great. And if it wasn't nothing great, then we're done. All right. That was the whole plan. I was never actually friends with PPP or Andy at all. For me, it was always a business relationship, but I had to perpetuate the lie because these guys have such a bad reputation.
So again, if you're perpetuating lies with them, you don't think on any conceivable level that they might be eventually upset that you use them, right? Like, I kind of shudder to think if PPP was like, he may not have even needed to shit on his wife as much as he did. Because look how he's acting, right? He's admitting he was gonna break off anyway. Again, he used his wife to get away to begin with, which is like really funny, but he could have easily just not mentioned his wife, not insult her, and then like find other ways to get DSP to like want to break it off. Or better yet, PPP could accuse him of like exploiting him, because these EMs do prove that. Literally, if we take out the cat smart guy segment, no matter who leaked it, because let's take that out, right? And DSP leaks this. He definitely would go down the path of, as you can see, I was snaking them the whole time and this and that. It would make him look like a scumbag of just like exploiting PPP, right? Like this really did not make him look good. And all he has on PPP, the only thing he has is he made fun of his wife, which, you know, okay, you're gonna stand up for your wife, but it was done in like after using her as a tool to get out of things. So it's like complete clown world. Like it's so bad on many levels that you're more sympathetic to the guy who's calling your own wife fat than the person who married her. That is insane. Like you really had to be a terrible husband for that to be the outcome. It really is like a true cuckery situation.
They have so much bad stuff going on for them on the internet.
Born
that
to be
if I
cucked.
don't go to bat for them, then people will be like, what are you doing? Why are you associating with this bad guy, this doing this and that? I had to give them all these lies to keep them
Wait, what?
for them on the internet. That if I don't go to bat for them, then people will be like, what are you doing? Why are you associating with this bad guy, this doing this and that? I had to give them all these lies to keep them going so they would stop. All right.
I have to
with
hear
this
this.
bad-
I have to
because
hear
these
this
guys have
again.
such a bad reputation. They have so much bad stuff going on for them on the internet that if I don't go to bat for them, then people will be like, what are you doing? Why are you associating with this bad guy, this doing this and that? I had to give
What? They have such a bad reputation. I had to go up to bat for them, because then they'd say, "Why are you with these bad guys?" But they were saying that anyway. Like people were like screaming at him, saying these people are bad, and he's like, "No, man, they're cool." Oh, okay.
give them all these lies to keep them going so they would stop. All right.
So they would
They would
stop.
stop doing the bullshit with, maybe they would think that I wasn't being truthful or I was actually fucking with them, unless what you gotta do.
Oh my god, this part is so confusing. Dude, this stream is awful. Awful. What are you talking about? What?
They would stop doing the bullshit with, maybe they would think that I wasn't being truthful or I was actually fucking with them, unless what you gotta do is you have to give a little, just a little truth, and then a big lie attached to it, and then they buy it hook, line, and sinker, right? Was my wife sick last year? She was for a little bit.
What?
Not anymore. None of that's going on. But you attach that little bit of truth, and then they'll believe you.
Oh my god, dude. Like, this dude is a terrible liar. Like, the worst. I mean, everyone said the more detailed the lie is, like, the more of a lie it is. Like, oh, whatever. And that's true, but for him, it's like the gesture now. It's like, yeah, the sky is blue, but sharks are flying, and the astronauts are like, they have nukes up their ass. It's like, what? So since I believe the sky is blue, I guess I can buy this other stuff. Like, that's how dumb this is. So the nugget truth is that he's like, well, then he added like ovarian stuff. She can't have kids anymore. Like, these are very, very, very like fucked up things to say. And if someone were to find out eventually, like, this is all that's gonna happen. People are gonna be more inclined to like do fucked up things to find out, I guess. But because if it ever finds out what actually happened with Kat, it's not gonna look pretty for him. And he's still talking about having appointments though. So it's so dumb. And then to say like, well, if I lie, they may find out I'm fucking with them. I mean, you don't have to go this hard. Like, Again, look how effortless PPP had to do this. It was literally effortless. He could probably do it with his eyes closed. But DSP could not even do anything. He couldn't even like, yeah, we want to do the It's a Gun thing. Yeah, okay, yeah, and then like I could like do this or do that, and maybe we could do like other videos where he's on my stream and we play games together or whatever the fuck. But no, couldn't do that.
So I cased these guys 100%. Okay, seriously, 100%. This was my doing. I sought them out. I messaged them. I'm the one who had the idea for the Review Tech React and made it happen, not them. And then after that, it was continuous failure after failure on their behalf.
With, like,
they couldn't get Mudahar. They couldn't get It's a Gundam. They couldn't get Medicare. They couldn't do anything. It was just, oh, appear on our show and talk shit about Ralph. Who fucking cares about talking shit about Ralph? No one.
Yeah, well, now he wants to have Ralph on the stream. Pretty cool,
Do something that's particular that will make sense, that you're finally involving me.
But you talked about Ralph on your stream, though. You had a whole thing. You were starting beef with him. That's what they were working off of.
This boring shit. They're not creative. They couldn't come up with ideas that would work. And then they would blame me. Dude, I'm the person who I am. Now, the only way...
They blamed him on his own content, though. They didn't blame him for It's a Gundam falling through, Mudahar falling through, or whatever. Like, they're not blaming him for that. They're blaming him for just doing the third road and wasting their time pretending to be interested in doing drama and all this other shit when that you weren't interested to begin with. He literally admitted he was scamming and he pretended to be interested. And then they call him out for pretending. He's like, you're saying I'm pretending. What?
That they could make stuff work is if I changed who I was. If I completely and utterly became the internet drama guy. All right? And I don't want to do that. I don't want to be the internet drama guy. I don't want to waste my time. I don't want to change who I am. I want to play games. I want to hang out with my audience. But I realize that I'm already in this with these guys, and I got to find a way out. So I bide my time. I wait. We're doing smart.
What?
Change who I am. I want to play games. I want to hang out with my guy. All right? And I don't want to do that. I don't want...
Okay, I want to highlight this, though. The only reason he stopped doing drama content was because his chat begged him not to do it. Jade kept crying about it every day. So, it wasn't even his own decision. He literally just did it because his chat begged him not to stop.
I don't want to be the internet drama guy. I don't want to waste my time. I don't want to change who I am. I want to play games. I want to hang out with my audience. But I realize that I'm already in this with these guys, and I got to find a way out, so I bide my time.
Yeah, this does not sound like a dude that came in with a plan. So, he came up with his master plan and did not think of an exit strategy. I mean, I think to a point, PPP thought of an exit strategy. I mean, they were kind of already doing it. By just not having him on, they're like, we can't have him on. Just, no. And that's it. Like, that's what happened. Like, with all intents and purposes, I feel that Andy was basically done. Like, he was like, no. And then it became a PPP project. Like, it went from, like, an Andean... It went from a Kino Casino thing to then PPP doing it personally. And now it's back in the Kino sphere because, obviously, now they can fully go all out on Phil. But that's what happened. They had more of a plan on how to string him along to the extent PPP tweeted flawless victory when DSP did this stream. That's how deep it went. And this dude is sitting there like, I had to find a way out. Like, you did not come up with an exit strategy. You had to wait until PPP, like, gave you an out. And then even when he gave you an out, that wasn't good enough. He needed to go back and belabor the point and talk about, like, how you need to set boundaries. You need to calm down. You need to, like, limit yourself and this and that. And then when he responded back, because, you think, you want to cut ties, that's fine. He would say that and then move on. But after he responded after that, it kind of, like, gave PvP a window to kind of, like, talk back in the sense of, like, well, we may not be, like, working on something, but we can still shoot the shit or whatever. So he comes back to say, that he's crashing out with the third road bullshit, and then DSP comes back and makes it about his wife. Talk about my wife. And then it went on and on to the point where Pete was like, okay, look, if you're not really in on this, if you're not really into this, then yeah, I think you should apologize for wasting our time for 8 months. Which, as much as PB was lying, there was genuine effort to get him to do more stuff. Genuinely. And DSP thought that he was trying to ask DSP to apologize for forcing PB for standing up for his wife or whatever, which wasn't what he was asking for him to apologize. Really read those DMs. You'll like, nowhere does PPP demand DSP to apologize for that. It was literally for just not willing to do any of the other ideas that they had. And he didn't. He came up with excuse after excuse to not do stuff. He even said it in this stream that he made up the story about his rabbit because he didn't want to do the stream. He couldn't even say, I don't want to do the stream tonight. He just said, my rabbit exploded. Please let's reconsider. Why doesn't he respect me? I don't know. Good question, Phil. Why is he mad?
Wait, we're doing smart guys. I'm gonna find a way out eventually. You know, and they don't have anything on me. Literally, they have a bunch of fucking lies that I fed them for 8 months. Big deal if they...
Yeah. Wow, they can continue to say that I'm a liar. Oh my god. You see how fucking bullshit his whole, I'm an honest guy. Believe me, he lies to anyone. And that's definitely like, dude, it's actually, guys, it's a nugget of truth. See, he admits he did lie. That's the nugget of truth. Then he could say, attach whatever to that. See how stupid this is? Fuck this guy. And that's, again, another self-report on the fucking champions. The nugget of truth. I'm down from the rafters. The lie, I sold the account. Why don't you believe me, dude? I'm an honest guy. Okay.
If they throw it out on the internet, all it does is make them look like shit for sharing my private stuff, which isn't even fucking true.
No. You admitted it's not true, so it doesn't matter. The DMs are now, like, open, and they can even criticize you more for lying. Like, this is so dumb. It's so dumb. Come on.
True. So who cares? Right? So you saw what happened at the end there. That's PPP. He's unhinged. He's obsessed with me. He's in love with me. He thinks that I'm his fucking boyfriend.
Look how much he has to spin that, though. Like, people knew PB was, like, lying anyway in the DMs and was just saying shit to get him to do stuff that he wanted him to do. Etc., etc. And he did say he did want to give him a trip to the Hogan bar because he thought that it could be good content. That's all it was. But he didn't want to do it, and he said shit, right?
Boyfriend or girlfriend. He's treating me like I jolted him at the...
What?
That's PPP. He's unhinged. He's obsessed with me. He's in love with me. He thinks that I'm his fucking boyfriend or girlfriend. He's treating me like...
He thinks I'm his boyfriend or girlfriend. DSP. In a gay relationship, they're just partners. They're both boyfriends. Or they're both girlfriends, or they're girls, right? That's how that works. Does he really think that a gay couple is like, okay, who's the wife? Who's the girlfriend? It's like, what are we doing here? Who's the husband?
I jolted him at the altar, even though he said it was okay to break it off if I don't want to be disrespected. He's freaking out. He's sending crazy texts to me, threatening me. He wants a public apology. He's insane.
But the apology was for the lack of care.
He has no friends, no one who will spend time with him,
true.
no one who will do wrestling.
He told him that it was a true assessment on PvP for him to demand an apology for wasting his time for 8 months because DSP had no further interest. He admitted that was a true assessment.
Wrestling with him. He wants me to fly to Hogan's bar to have some drinks. That's pretty fucking gay.
Yeah, having drinks with your friend, that's gay, guys. Don't do
Okay?
it.
So, it's all done right now. I'm not having any more
It
association
kind
with
of also tells you the kind of person DSP is. Does in any relationship. Like this is the kind of guy that women say are bad. Like, oh, a guy would do this just so that they would have sex as a reward. Like they see like any polite gesture as and would think that the reward would be sex. Like, oh, I opened the door for them. That must mean that I can fuck them. Like, that's the kind of guy DSP is, I guess. But the problem is with that is DSP is not a sexual guy, but he would definitely think that way.
with these guys, all right? And one final thing, because Moon Knight did say, what took you so long? If this was going down last week, why didn't you publicly talk about it last week? Because I had, number one, I wanted to see if they were really going to escalate it and do shit. And I didn't know they were going to do that until Friday when they did it on the show. And I was like, maybe they'll do one show. Oh, no, they're going to continue this. So for those who don't know, to export your content from X, these logs, takes over 24 hours to actually get the logs exported. All right? It takes over 24 hours. You have to put in the log, the request, then they send you the files and shit.
You kind of
It
don't
takes
even have
forever.
to do that.
All right? You have to wait for it to
Dude, if he was planning this, he could have just taken screenshots each time when he got a W in his little scheme, right? But he didn't. He did it all last minute. But he could just have done it any time, right?
show up.
Whatever.
Then when it shows up, guess what happens? It's just a browser link, and you can only open it in a browser, so you have no evidence. I wouldn't be able to show you the evidence. So I then had to find a way to convert all of the files over to PDF files. Funny that they're PDF files with these guys. So that I could actually publicly put those on the
make
internet.
that joke. I mean, they could just
All
make the
right?
same joke to you,
So,
right?
now
You
is the
waited for
time, ladies and
Pandora to be
gentlemen.
legal age,
All
right?
right?
That's so cool. It's
Here
totally
you
not
go.
weird at all.
The two files. You can watch them or read them for yourselves. All right. This one is the PPP. Oh, I'm not on the right screen. Well, that's a genius level fuck up right there. This is the PPP file. You can see all of the text between him and me. Right there, transparent. I have nothing to hide. I've told you all the shit that I told him that was private was half truths or no truths, complete bullshit. All right. And here are the Warski conversations right there.
Oh my god.
You can check those out. They are publicly available
You
for you
have
to
to
check out
type
right
the
now.
actual
They are not
link.
edited. They are 100% unedited.
That
You
is
can read them in their
is
entirety.
insane.
No problem. All right. To show that I'm not hiding anything. I have nothing to hide here at all. All right. And to end in the culmination of all of this, all right, I have one final thing to say. Ladies and gentlemen,
Whatever.
as of this morning, I'm a verified member over on Kick.
Oh,
It took a long time, but I finally got verified.
So does that mean
So now
I
I get all the benefits of being a verified streamer on Kick.
So he can now be paid hourly, I guess, because I think they said like because isn't it the isn't verified like, hey, when you hit start stream, you get paid until you hit stop stream. So DSP can actually milk the website. I'm sure the dude who runs that website is gonna really love the dividends that this guy's gonna bring.
So it all comes full circle. All right, it does. It all comes full circle. Where these guys, their first intention was 100% to use me.
But
all they ever wanted to do was milk me for content, and I knew that. I cased them going in. I saw their stream. I saw PPP ringing the fucking dinner bell. I saw Warski playing the fucking air flute kazoo, acting like they were mentally challenged. Basically being the Pied Pipers to
am I
those
mentally
who
challenged
for
for
some
using
reason
an automaton?
like this really
Why not use
fucking
the R
bizarre
word? I thought you loved
content
the R
of
word.
screeching at the top of your lungs or talking with a lip.
Dude, there's a video even on his own channel where he's like, guys, can I beg like PPP? And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, he better not be begging like this ever again, right? He's not gonna like continue the begging, right?
The lisp, I just don't understand it. I don't like it. I outright say,
oh my god, I love that he brings up Andy's lisp, but it's like, that's not something you can control necessarily. I don't think you can. I think you're born with it. And this guy's like, don't make fun of things that you can't control. Like, get out. And then he's like, yeah, why is Andy doing a stream when he has a list? I don't like it. He should like this, but like, okay, so now you're telling him to change how he was born? Come on.
I said many times I couldn't really watch their content because if I did, it actually bothered me. Like I get a headache and like I couldn't stand it. I didn't want to be a part of their content, but I saw this was my opportunity to get in with someone who had some popularity on the internet and finally, for once, set myself up to get some positive attention. Isn't it funny that when I did, everyone seemed to realize that I'm not as bad as everyone said?
Isn't it funny? Like, I love that it's like he wants to do positive content, but he did literally the opposite. He did actual negative content. And he's like, you notice that everyone would watch, like, but this was them, like, glazing you, though. And lying to you. And then it's like, you notice that people don't say that I'm as bad as people say they were? Like, there were still people that said he was bad. Like, this is really stupid.
Isn't it funny that once finally the actual truthful light was shed on me, everyone's like, he ain't that bad. His content's pretty good. He's a chill guy.
No,
this is pretty.
No, he lied though. He lies. He's a liar. He never told the truth. And also he's saying that, oh, I'm not that bad of a guy, dude. You catfished 2 strangers. Even if you want this to be some master plan, you don't look good. You lied to 2 strangers. You did things you accuse women of doing. You're nowhere near as good as you think you are, my guy.
It's pretty fun, right? And I'm happy. I'm happy where I am doing what I'm doing. I'm happy doing non-drama content, doing gameplay, chill podcasts with my audience, having fun every day, doing different stuff. Smart guys doing it solo is working right now. All of that, okay? I love it. I'm not going to change.
If Smart Guys work solo, why is he adding Ethan Ralph next week? Why is he doing co-host if it works as a solo show?
Because these guys think they did me a solid by doing the idea I fucking came up with and made possible that made us money, right? Then they couldn't do anything else for me after the fact because all their ideas were awful. They had no clout to make anything happen. Then they're upset that I won't completely change who I am as a person and a creator to personally benefit them. And then at the end, when they say it's okay to leave, and I try to leave, it's like a jilted lover. It's like, oh my God, how dare you break up? Now you're an F, you're this, we're gonna do.
But again, he literally, I talked enough about
tons of content.
This is
we're
like
gonna do
really
this.
stupid.
It's like, you're out of your minds. You're fucking insane losers. They always were.
All already got verified.
I knew that from the fucking start. This is them. This is fucking them. Is this what you want to aspire to be someday? Yeah, they might have a lot of money because idiots throw them money every fucking day. Is this what you want to look like? Is this your idol? What? Is this who you aspire to be? These 2 guys right here?
You could say the same thing about you.
This could have been me standing next to fucking Ashton at the Hogan bar if I went. Why do you think I didn't want to go?
You don't like fat people? I don't know.
This is not my future, all right? These guys might have all the money in the world.
This is
but good fucking God.
I don't want. This is a weird thing to shame someone for. Like, there's a lot of things you could say about anyone out there, sure. But to shame someone for hanging out with a friend is like the weirdest thing that you could like shit on someone. Like, what?
I want to be like them. I am me. I am happy. I'm happily married.
Oh, he's
I have
so
a great
happy.
Audience that I love.
That's why he's mad about 2 guys hanging out.
Ever going to waste time on this kind of shit. No one's going to tell me what to do. No one's going to tell me to change. No one's going to hold me over the coals. These guys have absolutely fucking nothing on me at all. Zero.
Except that I lied.
All the shit that they think they have is fake. It's bullshit. It's half-truths. It's no truths. They got fucked. Ladies and gentlemen, I king snaked the fucking casino.
This makes it look more that he's getting snaked. Look at it.
They fell for the fucking
what
trap.
This looks like. He's in the snake's trap. This is not a good image. Because it makes him look like he's the one that got suckered in.
And I ate them the fuck up for breakfast. I reaped the rewards. And now they're going to come out and be like, we got all this shit. You don't have shit. You have nothing.
Yeah, you
Zero
can just tell
on
people
me.
that I'm a liar,
Now,
I'm fake,
in
and
the months
and
ahead,
you're never gonna see
you
the real
know
me.
that these
and I'm
guys
gonna
are going to
use
pretend like they
people.
do. They're going to be like, we got you. They don't have nothing. All right? What you've seen in those logs that I just put out there
Of
are
course.
the only interaction I ever had with those fucking guys. Period. They have nothing.
They have
All right?
nothing.
If they come out and be like, well, we got this flaming gun, we got this smoking piece of evidence. No,
Flaming
they don't.
gun,
Because if there
smoking
was
piece of
evidence out there of anything that they were probably going to make up, June the King
Flaming gun.
would have had it in his documentary, and my detractors would have all.
This is bullshit. He specifically made sure that June the King did not have damning evidence of the WWE champions. I talked about this before. He only announced it after the documentary was uploaded. He did not want to have June the King have a video that said GSP is in fact down from the rafters. He wanted that to still be a maybe he is, maybe he isn't kind of thing. That's all. Like it's bullshit. He specifically tailored that interview to do that, and the issue with DSP is not like his content. I mean, his content sucks in whatever way, but him as a person is something that you have to like kind of like see to really understand. Like that's the true problem with him.
Already had it. There is nothing else out there. All right? There's no secrets of the past. I abused women and I did this and that. None of it exists. Unlike
It's kind of abusive to use your wife as an excuse to get out of things, though. That is a form of abuse. This is he would definitely not consider like mental abuse, words, like whatever, like that stuff. He would not consider that abuse. I guarantee you. If someone said this guy was like abusing me by saying certain things, he would not believe that. He wouldn't understand that people can be abused in like verbally, mentally, whatever. He would not believe that's a thing.
Unlike all these other creators where all this shit constantly gets publicly exposed over the years, I don't have skeletons in the closet. My skeletons have been exposed
But the thing
over the
is,
years.
like, the stuff that gets exposed on him is stuff that people could just glean from and just be like, yeah, okay, like, these aren't, like, big issues. Like, the meme, right? Oh, he's not Hitler. But, like, these are just not good traits to have as a person. Like, why do you think nobody wants to do actual content with him? And when they do, they get awkwarded out. Like, June, I don't think was comfortable being on that interview with him. Like, even Tolo was not comfortable. Like, nobody's comfortable around this guy.
Over the years, over and over and over. So these fucking guys can talk about me as much as they want. I can't stop them. Okay? But I can be past that.
All he did was just so that.
So I'm done with it.
This is just cope. So that way, when they react to these DMs, he knows. Well, I know I lied, and the people I told, they also know they lied. So it doesn't matter what they say, and that's the delusion he's gonna keep up, and just ignore the fact that he lied to two strangers and exploited them to get ahead. The thing he said that was bad, he did. Make it make sense, Phil.
I'm past it. I have nothing to do with them. I am now washing my hands of them. All right?
It was low-key a good thing that Rich got kicked, because I guarantee Rich would say the same thing, like, Phil, you're doing what you're criticizing them of doing right now. Like, okay, Rich, yeah, out of here. Sorry, guys, up like bah.
So, I got what I wanted. I got the temporary boost. It helped me. I got verified on Kick. All right? They can go crazy just proving how awful people they are, because that's what was happening to begin with. They were awful people. They always intended to be awful to me. They always were going to snake me.
Them.
That was always the plan, is that in the end, they were going to turn on me. Why do you think they always had the little snide remark here, the joke here, the over-the-top glazing? That's what it was. No one got fooled except them, because they actually thought that I was buying into that shit when I never was.
But it doesn't matter now, DSP, because now
that's that.
You're admitting you were faking it the whole time too.
I want nothing to do with any of these.
And then you could argue, what if they knew you were faking it?
I just want to be left the fuck alone.
Like you have to beg the question, right? what if they also knew he was snaking them, and they were like, "Oh, we're gonna do the same thing to them, buddy." Like it's just a snaking circle, you know, like an Ouroboros, if you will.
It. So next time that you have an idea in your head that you're gonna try to get me, we're gonna team up and snake him. Think twice, because I'm the fucking king of fucking snakes. You get it? You think that the
Oh
king
man,
moniker's a joke? Well, it is. But at the same
literally,
time, man, it's kind of funny how
people
I
should
could
just
own
fuck with
it,
him more at this
use it,
point.
and then I get those fuckers.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be able to snake me.
Remember, guys, he doesn't hold grudges. He bragged about not holding grudges. What is this then? And again, this is like egging people on to up the ante, to do more stuff to him. That's all this is doing.
Because I'm never gonna give you enough to snake. You'd have to be a moron. All right? So I'm done with this shit 100%. And that's where I'm gonna leave it. All right? Sad Review Tech couldn't be here because I actually wanted to do a whole big shtick where we were taking the chips away from the casino, and then eventually I was gonna,
man.
like, maybe at the end,
This was
if he went
cringe.
along with it, I was gonna maybe say, hey, we're cool, and give him his chip.
Oh maybe I'll give his chip back. Oh maybe. Oh, he only see, as I said, he only wanted Rich there just for the spectacle. He didn't give a fuck. Did not give a fuck about him being there. Just wanted him there as a prop, and then maybe, like, he didn't care for him as a person. But these other people, they're awful people because they treated me like an object. But I tricked Rich to get on my show. Aren't I cool? I'm not that bad of a guy. I just did what I claim other people did, right? I'm pretty cool.
Chip back, but you know, he wanted to talk about my microphone. He thought that that was funny. You want to talk about ruining an event?
Again,
right?
like I get that some people may have been like eye rolling the Rich segment about the microphone, but I kind of do have to admit, like, it was kind of wasted on DSP, in all honesty. If you want to make the point about him being disingenuous, doing, like, very subtle shit as that is, like, not worth it. Because he's not going to pick up on it. Because it's like, it's a mic, stupid. But I appreciate it. I was like, oh, I get it. But again, I would find it more funny to see him be in a position where people just call out his bad behavior, his contradictions, and this and that, because he would lose his mind. I mean, he kind of did. Like, that's why I said, like, the Truth Seeker show was a interview he deserved, because it was stuff that he was being treated the way he treats other people, and like, you saw that.
Right? Like, holy shit, how can you ruin an event any possibly worse than that?
But he didn't know this was what he wanted to do. And he didn't care. Like, that's the other thing. Like, he even told him to his face, look, I don't like the casino, but I'm not going to care enough to do this. Like, I came here to interview you, do the interview with me. I'm not here for this. And he's like, wow, you didn't want to do this? Like, yeah. When you invite someone that doesn't want to do something, they're not going to want to do something they don't want to do.
So, that is it for the Level 666 podcast of how DSP robbed Keno Casino.
All right.
I'm now done with this shit. I
think I'll end here for this part. I will do the decompression as well. I will spare you guys the next 2 hours. This was another wild video, but I think that was... I kind of wanted to do that initially, just end it like at the end of the DMs, then do this. That's why I was thinking it was going to be two videos, but now it's going to be 3 videos. But that's fine. That's fine. It's okay. You guys are okay. You guys are fine with having only 3 videos and not like a 10-hour video, right? You don't want 10-hour videos. But thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good weekend, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.